Yes, sir.
10-4. John chapter 5, verse 39, ladies and gentlemen. John chapter 5, verse 39. We give praise, glory, and honor to our Father, YAHUAH, of hosts, by way of our Master and Savior and King, Yahushua HaMashiach. And we shall begin at the 5th chapter, book of John, 39th verse. Go ahead, sir.
Search the scriptures, for in them you think ye have eternal life, and they are which testify of me. And you would not come to me, that ye might have life. I receive not honor from men, but I know you, that you have not the love of Elohim in you.
That's good, that's good. And that's the whole key. Hush it up, boy. That's the key thing that we turn around and look at, man. A lot of people don't have the love of the Most High in them. That's why when certain things come up and certain things come out, they don't want to heed to it, they don't want to lean to it. And we know full well America ain't got no love of the Most High in them. But see, there's a particular thing that we're going to look at, that we're going to sit back and say we're going to search the scriptures. Like I was telling y'all last night, it's coming up and it seems like this here. Corey, you get me Matthew chapter 11 about verse 28. Go ahead, what? We sit back looking at that all things got to be cast upon the Most High. Go ahead, 1 Peter 5 and 6, everybody.
It says, humble yourselves, therefore, under the mighty hand of God, of Elohim, that he may exalt you in due time.
Why is that?
Casting all your care upon him.
Do what?
Casting all your care upon him, for he careth for you.
You see that there right? He said what he told you to do. He told you to cast all your care upon him because he cared for you. Now you know why you sit back and look at, you know what that means? That's why he'll sit back and show you. That's why he sat back and showed you. You know what, son? You shouldn't eat swine. You know what? My rest day is on the 7th day of the week. You know what? You shouldn't wear pants. You shouldn't get hot. That's because he cared for you. See, if he didn't care for you, you know what he would end up doing? Let you continually go in the way that you belong. You understand what I'm telling you? You realize there's not a scant difference between anybody in this room and anybody who outside this wall. I'm talking about in the very room building that we in right now. We could be very well doing the exact same things that they doing. Surfing on the internet, going to the library, get some books, maybe shoot down to the beach, hit the mall up, go get a Jamba Juice, all type of stuff. You know what I'm talking about? I'm for real though. What's the difference between you and them other than y'all had care upon you to show you which way to go? What's the difference? You know what I'm saying? There is no difference. Let's go ahead and read that Matthew chapter 11, verse 27. Boy, give me 1 John chapter 5, verse.
All things are delivered unto me of my Father, and no man knows the Son but the Father. Neither knows any man the Father save the Son, and he to whomsoever the Son will reveal him.
That's the mercy of Yahuwah right there, that he revealed his Son to you.
Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn of me.
Do what?
Learn of me.
Do what?
Learn of me.
Before you learn of him, what you need to do?
Take my yoke upon you.
I mean, you got to go ahead and take his restriction upon you. Go ahead.
For I am meek and lowly in heart, and ye shall find rest unto your souls.
Why is that?
For my yoke is easy and my burden is light.
I know sometimes it seems like when stuff come up and you find out that we got to stop doing this, seems like it's grievous to you. But in actuality, it's not. 1 John 5 and 1. It's not a burden. It's really light. He's releasing that burden from you.
1 John 5 and 1.
Yes, sir.
It says, whosoever believeth that Yeshua is the Hamashiach is born of Elohim, and everyone that loveth him, that begat loveth him, also that is begotten of him.
You know what he just basically tell you? Anybody that's born, anybody that love Yahushua, gonna love the Father, because the Father begat him, and therefore you gonna love those who are born of him. This one sitting here telling, like I was telling, if all of us sit back and say we in the same thing, same body, then we both to have care one for another. You know what I'm saying? See, our law taught us that, didn't it? Love your neighbors, you love yourself. Don't bear any grudge against your neighbor. You know what I'm saying? Don't suffer any sin upon your neighbor. You know what I'm talking about? If your brother be waxing poor next to you, he sit back and say, don't turn your eye from the poor, have pity upon him, because the poor always be with you. See, the difference what ended up happening beforehand. Give me Daniel chapter 9 about verse 4. Go ahead. It's the simple fact that we done went from being a group and a collective to individuals. And it's also leading to something else what I was telling y'all about last night to a certain extent. And it'd be like that. All the true congregations, synagogues, assemblies of Yahuwah in the four corners of the earth, no matter where they be. How many like this here? How many of y'all done got that in here? I know it's like 4 of y'all that know about Hebrew Israelites and this, that, there, and the other. When it seems like when information come out, does it seem like most of them care about being the first one to mention it? You know what I'm talking about? As if it's a competition of who got it out first, or do they mention it because they actually have a care that the information get out that people might correct themselves? You know what I'm saying? Because it's truly not a competition about who put it out first. You know what I'm saying? It's some certain stuff I done came across, man. I let my people in Detroit know about it and let them go and do their thing. You know what I'm saying? And adjust accordingly. Because we're supposed to be adding on and helping one another. Because eventually, if y'all will, the time gonna come where all of us gonna end up in the same place at the same time. And we already supposed to be on the same type of time before we even get there. You know what I'm saying? These dudes sitting back waiting to go in the wilderness. He talking about, yeah, man, YAHUAH gonna work it out when we get there. You wait on it. You know what I'm saying? This stuff got to be already ironed out. All it is different parts of a body in different places till they come together in one. Go ahead, boy. Let me finish this out before you read this Daniel 9. And you get me Ephesians 4 and about verse 8 right when you finish this.
It says, by this we know that we love the children of Elohim, when we love Elohim and keep his commandments.
Why is that?
For this is the love of Elohim, that we keep his commandments, and his commandments are not grievous.
You know what that means? That means they're not hard. That means anything that come up that we might have to drop or cease from doing, it ain't that hard. I know more times I tend to just be upset that you've been lied to. You know what I'm saying? Or you were doing something. That's like I told y'all last night. That's the mercy of y'all right there. He couldn't put all this stuff in your lap at one time. If he put all this stuff in your lap at one time, it would overwhelm you. And like I told you, you'll quit. Any of y'all that had something get put in your lap, too much stuff at one time, and you just said, screw it, I ain't doing it. You know what I'm saying? If you put all this stuff in our lap at one time, your brain will short circuit. Come on, Corey. Get that Ephesians 4 in there.
Daniel 9 and 4. And I prayed unto Yahuwah my Elohim, and made my confession and said, O Master, the great and dreadful owl, keeping the covenant and mercy to them that love him, and to them that keep his commandments.
You see what he said? He said he keep mercy and covenant with them who love him because he cares for you. So those who keep his commandments and his covenant would cast their care upon him because y'all care for him. Go ahead.
We have sinned and have committed iniquity.
Who did he say sin?
We have sinned.
Who he say sin?
We have sinned.
Go ahead.
And have committed iniquity, and have done wickedly, and have rebelled, even by departing from your precepts and from your judgments. Neither have we hearkened unto your servants, the prophets, which spoke in your name to our kings, our princes, and our fathers, and to all the people of the land. O Master, righteousness belongs unto you, but unto us confusion of faces, as at this day.
You see what we got going on right now? We got a lot of confusion of faces right now, don't we? And I ain't even talking about because of no doctrines, but just the way that we live. You know what I'm talking about? But you hear the key thing what Daniel said. Did Daniel use a singular or did he use a collective?
Collective.
We don't speak in collective no more. How many of y'all seen that thing that Richard Sherman's supposed to say about Black Lives Matter? Any of y'all seen that?
Say all lives matter.
Well, he was just coming in talking about, black on black crime. Niggas on ESPN went slap off on this dude. One dude in particular. The show used to be called Numbers Never Lie. Now it's called His and Hers. You know what I'm saying? And the dude, Michael Smith, went off on it. Because basically it seemed like they gave Richard Sherman that $60 million or whatever they gave him. And now you buck dancing. You from Compton. So you already know if I live in Compton, of course the people I'm going to kill going to look like me. You know what I'm talking about? If I lived out in Beverly Hills, you know what I'm saying? Chances is I'm going to be Caucasian. Chances is if I do something crazy, breaking somebody's house, it's going to be somebody who looks like me. You know what I'm saying? Remember when Khalid Muhammad said, oh, what about, he said, man, that's white on white crime. You know, white on white crime happens a lot more than y'all know. Just when they put it on the news, it usually just be domestic disputes. You know what I'm saying? They usually don't really put it out there. You don't think white people be killing each other? They the #1 murderers in the country. When they go on mass killing sprees, they ain't killing up black people. When that white boy went and shot up that movie theater in Colorado, he might have got a black person or two because they was there. He knew it wasn't going to be no whole bunch of black people in there. When Sandy Hook, if that actually would happen, we just gonna take their narrative and say what they say happened, that happened. Nigga, wasn't no black people in there. Nigga, black people only in Connecticut in about 2-3 cities, man. You know what I'm talking about? They not gonna focus on that. I'm for real, man. I think it's black people in what, Hartford, and maybe one other city. You know what I'm talking about? Nigga, that's Eastern blue, that's blue blood territory, man. How many black people you met from Connecticut? I ain't met but one, and she wasn't black. She was Puerto Rican. How many black people you met from Minnesota? I met one. How many black people you met from Utah? How many black people you meet from Nevada if they ain't from Las Vegas? You know what I'm talking about? So you don't sit back and think any killing that go on in Utah, and how many black people you met from North and South Dakota and Idaho? How many black people you done met from Montana that's not in the military? Because if you ain't got no business, if you ain't in the military, what business you got going to Montana? It ain't really black people in Oregon if they don't live in Seattle. I mean in Washington or in Portland. It ain't too many people, black people stay in these places, man. You only 12-13% of the population. But in order to make you look bad, they got to make it seem like you doing all the murders. You know what I'm saying? Because these white people in Jacksonville sick. Boy, I was locked up with a white boy. He was locked up for cutting off his girlfriend's granddaddy head and going to the bank with it. Talking about they needed 2 forms. At first I thought they was exaggerating. Then we seen his paperwork. So he went in there with the man's head talking about you need 2 forms of ID. Is this good enough for you? And you know how much time he called? 5 years in the crazy house.
That's a fact.
My homeboy kicked the basketball so hard and hit a boy in the face with it. You know what I'm talking about? Almost knocked him out. It was funny too, because he was bragging about how he could take a punch. And that basketball hit him in the face. Wow! They were like, you all right? I can take a punch. Next day he got knocked out by a white boy. But it's the fact that the dude who kicked the ball, he got 30 years.
Kicking the ball?
No, he got 30 years because he said, and from what I seen, I believe he was telling the truth. He went to go buy some weed from a dude. The dude tried to rob him. He shot his way up out of there. Killed one of them. One of them happened to be a police officer's son. Wounded the other. He caught 30 years. Not 30 years, my apologies. He caught life. He caught life. So that's why he was hot, because he's like, I'm facing life. And this dude just got 5 years. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I was telling y'all when we started, is we don't look at each other as a whole and a collective. Give me Jeremiah 32 and 39, sir. Go ahead with Ephesians 4. You give me Jeremiah 32 and 39. Go ahead with Ephesians 4. Hey, I'll work my way through it. Get Psalms 103 too, bro.
Ephesians 4 and 8.
4 and 8, sir.
Wherefore he said, when he ascended up on high, he led captivity captive and gave gifts unto men.
Mm-hmm.
Now that he ascended, what is it but that he also descended first into the lower parts of the earth?
Mm-hmm.
He that descended is the same also that ascended up far above all heavens, that he might fill all things.
Mm-hmm.
And he gave some apostles.
He gave him what?
He gave some apostles.
What else?
And some prophets.
And what else?
And some evangelists.
And what else?
And some pastors.
And what else?
And teachers.
And what else?
For the perfecting of the saints, for all the work of the ministry, for edifying of the body of Hamashiach.
Mm-hmm.
Till we all come in the unity of the faith.
Till we all come into what?
Unity of the faith and of the knowledge of the Son of Elohim unto a perfect man.
This the whole. This is what I'm sitting back telling you. So that means you think y'all got get Numbers chapter 11, about verse 30. Now he said, I gave some apostles and prophets and pastors and evangelists and teachers, all for the work of the ministry. That means that y'all got men everywhere for the specific purpose that we might come together as one in the faith. You understand what I'm telling you? But just because you see people out here, that don't mean that he's some. Read me Numbers 11 and 30. Tell me what it says. Give me 27.
He says, and they ran a young man and told Moses and said, Eldad and Medad do prophecies in the camp.
Mm-hmm.
And Joshua the son of Nun, the servant of Moses, one of his young men answered and said, My Lord Moses forbid them. And Moses said unto him,
You heard what he told him? Now, why would you think that Yahushua son of Nun would tell Moses to tell these people to stop prophesying? Why do you think he would tell them that? Listen to what he said.
He said, Moses said unto them, Even as thou for my sake.
He said, you envious for my sake? Moses said, you mad, you envy, you jealous for my sake? You know what Moses is basically trying to tell him? What is Moses trying to tell him? What is he trying to tell him? Y'all don't know what he's trying to tell him. Read that verse, see if they can see what he's trying to tell him.
It says, with Elohim, that all the Yah's people were prophets, and that Yah would put his spirit upon them.
So what did Moses just tell these people? What he just told them? He basically told them, man, I'm not the only person who can preach the word, man. There's other people out here got to do it too. He said, I would that he would sanctify all his people to do it. You know what I'm talking about? Y'all know about, some of y'all familiar with that group in New York City that say they the home of the truth. And if you don't get it from their commanding general, that is not of the Lord. That's their word. You know what I'm saying? So he basically saying, he the only one got it. And if you don't come through them, you ain't never gonna get it. Well, don't you know ain't no, now if Moses is the man who brought them out and y'all spoke to him face to face, telling them what you envying for my sake for. You know what I'm talking about? I would that y'all, all of them would be prophets. I would that y'all, all y'all would be able to go through. What you worry about it for? Man, I'll tell you, man, this man got people everywhere for the sole purpose of bringing us all together. Why would this man sit back and tell you that he set up all these men for that same job and purpose? You know what I'm talking about? Man, y'all got men in the state of Florida, just like he got men in the United Kingdom. He got men in Africa, he got men in the Far East. He got men in Canada, he got men in Mexico. He got men in Central America, he got men in Southern America. Because you know what he told you in Matthew 24, right? This word got to be preached in all the four corners of the earth. Everybody got to hear it. Everybody got to get it. Come on there, what I got you holding first?
Psalms 103.
Go on and get me verse 13. Make it 11. Matter of fact, just make it 9. Make it 7. What I got you holding beside that Psalm 103 with? I told you something.
That's all I got.
They don't make a difference. Psalms 103 and 7. Just going back to one of the initial things we were talking about. We're trying to work a couple things in together. One that's casting your care upon Yah, knowing that he'll have mercy on you. The other thing is to sit back and look at that y'all got men everywhere putting this thing together. And two, to sit back and show you that we got to come out from amongst these people and not be partakers in the destruction that these people will receive. You know what I'm saying? Come on with it, young man.
He made known his ways unto Moshe.
He made his way known to who?
Moshe.
And who else?
His acts unto the children of Israel.
And what else?
Yahuwah is merciful and gracious, slow to anger, and plenteous in mercy. He will not always hide, neither will he keep his anger forever.
Listen to the next thing he said.
He has not dealt with us after our sins, nor rewarded us according to our iniquities.
Whoa.
For as the
Hold on. Y'all heard what that man just told you. He said he has not dealt with you according to your sins. Now you sit back and look at that. I think the Apostle Paul. Dwight, give me First Timothy chapter 1 and verse 12. You hold what y'all got right there in that Psalm 103. He said he hasn't dealt with us according to our sins. Maybe about verse 8 though. 1 Timothy 1 and 8. Say he ain't dealt with us according to our sins. That's what some of us don't realize. Some of every last person in here should have been dead a long time ago according to this law. No matter if you think what you did was the worst thing, and I guarantee you we can find somebody who feel like what they done was worse. But in outside of you, it's all the same. He ain't gonna sit back and look at you and say you was worse than that person. You were equally filthy in his eyesight. Come on, young man.
It says, but we know that the law is good if a man use it lawfully.
Got to believe y'all's word is good if a man use it right. You know how many times we can sit back and look at that, if a man is good if he use it lawfully? You You know how Shaitan tried to come with Eve, at Eve with that same law he told her, but he didn't use it right. She didn't use it lawfully. It ended up being her fault. You know what I'm saying? The law was good when he gave the instruction to Saul, but he didn't use it lawfully. You know what I'm talking about? He chose to go in his own direction. You know what I'm saying? That's what a lot of these brothers do now. They scream that law, but they don't use it lawfully. They don't use it right. That's what we were talking about. It's ironic. It was mentioned in another location. We were talking about it Sunday. And what did Troy, what you came and brought? You came and brought a shofar, didn't you? And what the first thing I told you when you had, what you brought there for? We can't use what you brought there for? When I told my brother in Detroit about that man, he was hot. I had figured I had already told him about this in time past. Because I always looked and wondered, why these boys blowing shofars when the thing don't say nothing about blowing one? Because y'all know, when, especially when them dudes say they sighted the new moon in the land on the 15th, well, all them boys pulled out their ram's horns. Going crazy. Got their pictures blowing them, their video blowing them. Whole time, boy, the law ain't told you nothing about no shofar. It was ironic that I was going to mention that Sunday, and then you happened to bring that in the door. And then you had a small one. Looked like you bought that from an old novelty shop. You made that yourself. You did. I was going to say, well, you pretty good. I ain't saying you can't have one. I wouldn't blow it on trumpet. I wouldn't, man, my brother in Detroit said, he said, man, we blow that shofar at the gathering of every service, every week. He was just more hot up that he overlooked it. You know what I'm saying? That he had been reading Numbers 10 all that time and overlooked it. That's why I was telling y'all, he was the one looking up the trumpets when he seen one was like 3,500. That's a lot of money for a trumpet. Come on.
It says, knowing this, that the law is not made for a righteous man.
It ain't made for a righteous man. So guess what that means? Sit back and look at it. The law ain't made for who? Well, made for him. Who was it made for? What?
But for the lawless and disobedient.
Oh, what you got? Give me Romans chapter 5. Stay where you at, brother, with that song on. Romans chapter 5. Pick up about verse 12. Y'all remember when we looked at Ezekiel 18 along a few months back? When it said, if you got a man who did that which is lawful and right. Y'all know what I'm talking about? Do I need to go get it? Let me go get it before we even pull it up. Let me go get this Ezekiel 18 before we pull it up. Ezekiel 18, right? And about verse 5, it say, but if a man be just and do that which is lawful and right, and have not eaten upon the mountains, neither have lifted up his eyes to the idols of the house of YAHUAH, neither have defiled his neighbor's wife, neither have come near to a mistress woman, and have not oppressed any, but have restored the debtor his pledge, have spoiled none by violence, have given his bread to the hungry, and covered the naked with the garment. He have not given forth upon usury, neither have taken any increase, that have withdrawn his hand from iniquity, and have executed true judgment between man and man, and have walked in my statutes, and have kept my judgments to deal truly. He is just, he shall surely live, saith Yahuwah. That sounds like a Mashiach, don't it? No, y'all remember when we talked about this? We talked about this. It's been a while though. It's probably been about 3, 4, maybe 5 months. Because it said the law is not made for a righteous man. He said if a man be just. We already know Mashiach is the just one. Ain't that what Peter called him? That's what Peter called him, didn't it? So we already know that's him. Say he ain't oppressed nobody, he ain't spoiled none by violence. Remember it said, wasn't no violence in it, no guile in his mouth. He gave the dead his place, he even gave bread to the hungry. Didn't this man say, blessed are those who hunger for righteousness, they'll be what? People. And what did that bread did he give them? My flesh. That's why I know when we found out about that hokey pokey thing, that made me want to find the person who wrote it, slap him in the mouth. You know what I'm talking about? You know, some stuff, man, like this here, man, it come down to this here, man. How much y'all get to the point that y'all see certain things, or you find out certain things these people doing that have us outside the will of our power, and it make you hot? Well, I seen that thing about that hokey pokey, boy. I ain't care for that too much. You know what I'm saying? Every last person in this room at some time in their life done did the hokey pokey. Whole time they mocking the Mashiach. Talking about they mocking some Catholics. They ain't mocking no Catholics. You know what I'm talking about? They mocking this man passion and suffering that he did for our sake. You know what I'm talking about? That man said, I was son to the lost sheep of the house of YAHUAH. I came for them first. I ain't come for y'all. So that's why you think the people make them songs mocking. You think the people don't know who he came for. This man say, cast all your care upon me because I care for you. He said, man, who else loved you enough to die for you? Who loved you enough to correct you when you were wrong? Who loved you enough even when your works called for you to die? I'll spare your soul. You know what I'm talking about? Take that stuff lightly, man. Been a win off on these people. Come on, boy. He said they made for a righteous man, they made for a law. Hold on, I got Brother Corey with Romans 5:12. My apologies. Come on, Brother Corey.
Wherefore, as by one man entered into the world, sin entered into the world, and death by sin. And so death passed upon all men, for that all have sinned. For until the Torah sin was in the world, but sin is not imputed when there is no Torah.
Oh, hold on. He said ain't no sin where there ain't no law at the end of it. Because righteous man didn't need no law. So how could it be sin imputed to a Mashiach? What sin did he have? So remember he said the law is not for a righteous man. The law was already being since the world began. You know what I'm talking about? But he didn't make it for a Mashiach. What need would I have to make it? He said he made it for a lawless man. We turn around and look at it because he already knew what Adam was going to do. Again, I just seen it again the other day. This week, dude talking about Adam was immortal. We could pull that apocrypha open right now. He could go straight to it and show you what his book say that man was immortal. But for the sake of righteousness, we're not going to read that in here. No, this is not the time. No. You're going to have to hold it. No, I'm just saying because I ain't on the phone. I'm standing up and they reading for me, so we're going to have to hold it. We're going to have to hold it. You hear me? I'm just saying, if I had the earbuds, then I could have accommodated it. I can't accommodate it right now. You know what I'm saying? You already know Adam was going to fall, what? You already knew Adam was going to disobey. Because if you without law, then what is you? You're going to be lawless now. Because what did he do? He was given an instruction, right? What was he told not to do? What was he told not to do? He said don't eat from it, right? What did he turn around and do? So you without law, so you got the period. So the law was made for him because he gave that instruction to Adam. He didn't give it to him myself. What am I going to tell him not to do it? What am I going to tell him not to do this or not to do this? You'll surely die. I don't need to give him that instruction. Come on, boy. You good, Corey. We go back.
It says, knowing this, that the law is not made for a righteous man.
That's 1 Timothy chapter 1, verse 8 now. That's verse 9. 9, verse 9.
But for the lawless and disobedient.
For the lawless and disobedient.
For the ungodly and for sinners.
And for sinners.
For unkodesh and profane.
And for profane, common people.
For murderers of fathers and murderers of mothers.
Murderers of fathers and murderers of mothers. Yeah, they got a lot of stuff going on. Come on.
For manslayers, for whoremongers, for them that defile themselves with mankind.
You know what? Hold on. In fact, well, you know who was on TV yesterday, man? Old religiosity, whatever you call it. Old Bill Maher documentary. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sitting back looking at this thing. This is one of these things that really irked me when these wicked people say this here. They say if homosexuality is so wrong, he said, well, why didn't Jesus say nothing about it? And the dude would like to say, he said, it was a lot of things that the man didn't say stuff about. What's your point? You know what I'm talking about? The reason why I mention this is to say this here. Our people already know you is dead wrong taking it in the butt. You know what I'm saying? The reason why we know this, because you got to remember, we knew who we were. So we knew the stories about the kings of YAHUAH coming in and getting the Sodomites out the land. You know what I'm saying? We already knew about that story of what Ben Yamin did in Judges 18. We already know about that and the fallout that occurred from it. You know what I'm saying? Why would this man need to come through here and preach about it? Y'all don't be no sissy about it. You know what I'm talking about? When the truth be told, I mean, this course ain't nobody born that way. But that ain't even in our DNA makeup to be around here thinking about no bull. You know what I'm talking about? Not no black people. You know what I'm talking about? We like to get freaky, but not that freaky. Since we done came in contact with these people and they done told you that good is evil and evil is good, and they condition your mind to accept it, to rationalize where it's cool to be a punk, they gonna say, well, the Mashiach didn't say nothing about it, so it must have not been a big deal. But I'm going to show you where he said something about it. Corey, give me Mark chapter 12, verse 27. Just say right, I'm going to show you where he said something about it. We put that to rest. They say he ain't say nothing about being no sissy. Did y'all ever read somewhere where Marshak said don't be no sissy? Y'all ever read that quote? You sure? Okay. I'll make sure. I ain't saying you're wrong. Any of y'all ever read where he said don't be no punk? He did tell you not to be no punk. He finna tell you right now. Mark 12 and 27. Mark 12 and 27. He told you don't be no sissy now. Let's see how he told you don't be no sissy. Don't be no pocket money. Come on.
He is not the Elohim of the dead, but the Elohim of the living.
Go ahead.
Ye therefore do greatly err. And one of the scribes came unto him, having heard them reason together, and perceiving that he had answered them well.
You heard what the key thing, what he said? He ain't the power of the dead. He the power of the living. You know what I'm saying? That's the power of the Most High Yah. That's why we don't seek to the dead. He told him that in the book of Isaiah. Should there people, he said, you around here seeking after wizards in the dead, shouldn't you seek to your living Elohim? Come on, what did he ask? What did that man ask Masha? What did he ask him, Corey?
Which is the first commandment of all?
What's the first one, Corey?
And Yahushua answered him, the first of all the commandments is, Hear, O Yisrael, Yahuwah Elohim, Yahuwah is one, or Akkad. And you shall love Yahuwah Yah Elohim.
You shall what?
You shall love Yahuwah Yah Elohim with all your heart, and with all your soul, with all your mind, and with all your strength. This is the first commandment.
So right there he told you don't be no fat. Period. He told you that just right there. Don't be no punk, don't be no whoremonger, no anything they come up with, and he said he ain't speak against it. He spoke against it right there. He spoke against it right there. Right there when he said right there. Because in Deuteronomy he said all these laws and these statutes, where he get this from, where he quotes from, in that 6th chapter, he said all these laws and statutes are commandments that I give you this day, let them stay in your heart. And I'm willing to wager, Leviticus chapter 20 and about verse 13 is a law, it's a statute, it's a commandment, it's a precept. Keep that penis out your booty hole. He told you about it. I'm being serious though. But you see how simple that is to combat, because that's their argument. You know what I'm talking about? He ain't say nothing against it. You know what's kind of funny when he was talking to that pimp preacher, talking about, yeah, before I was a Christian, I was a Muslim. He said, I don't take no salary from the church. He said, well, what salary are you taking for that $2,000 suit you got? But you know what I'm saying? But it's the lies of Christianity which allowed this man to make this blasphemous documentary that he made. You know what I'm talking about? To go around all around the world mocking us. Going to talk to Catholic priests, talking about, you know, this stuff is nonsensical. People getting swallowed up by a fish. You know, they love to mock us about the story of Jonah, right? Love to say it's fairy tale. Don't even know, but we know what it's really about, right? You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, Troy.
How do you say that's a spaceship? What is that?
And we're going to move right along. I'm not even going to I don't know who you heard that from. You supposed to slap that
That's
nigga.
on the History Channel.
Woo!
Yeah, ancient aliens.
Woo! Like I said, just like these stupid niggas around here waiting for the beer room. They've been waiting for, well, don't you be laughing when them rocks up under your pillow. I'm just messing with you. We gonna deal with that one there, cause Troy told me, he said the first thing you told him, he said, nigga, you better get them rocks from up under your pillow. He said, Jacob had a rock. You know what I'm talking about? He said Jacob had a rock, but he was sleeping on the rock, so that was his pillow. He didn't have it up under it because he didn't have a rock under a rock. It didn't mess with him. I think y'all know. When he was saying that last night, I heard it. That's why I messed with him. He said, boy, I almost fell into that metaphysics. That's why we were messing with him, because he acknowledged it last night. And he wouldn't acknowledge that last night, I might not mess with him. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of like this here, like, now he know I read a lot of stuff, but I was like, no, I was embedded. I ain't want to be a part of the movement or nothing. You know what I'm saying? I read your books, you know, we can talk about it, have a conversation. I don't actually like want to join up with y'all. You know what I'm saying? I'm just kind of like stay with my friends, you know what I'm saying? That we can just have arguments and debates about y'all books. You know what I'm talking about? While we smoking the doobie, then go about our business. I ain't actually want to go join Dr. York and go be with him. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to go hang with Farrakhan. You know what I'm saying? Just cannon fodder, just good stuff to talk about. Because they really like this here. Looking for the truth. This stuff sounds good, but then deep down inside, well, all this stuff sounds fishy. Let's just go on and smoke. Figure it out later. I ain't lying though. You know what I'm saying? You gotta say something. He was raised to deal with the book. You know what I'm talking about? So he gonna cleave to that. He gonna hold to that. I'm like this here. I'm trying to figure out what's true and what ain't. Stuff sounds good, but deep down inside, something telling you, man, I can't roll with this. You know what I'm talking about? I mean, it's obvious apparent by how I was living, because nigga talk about it by the book, but nigga ain't rolling with it. Because boy, you see people when they roll with it, they change completely. And you be like, this here, boy, that nigga boss done went crazy, man. He done went and got that Dr. York clothes. He shooting up there to eating Georgia, hanging with them niggas and all. But that nigga's a cold, boy, you better talk to him. You know what I'm saying? That type of stuff don't happen when you ain't really, you reading it, but you ain't locked in. You know what I'm saying? That's how you see all them niggas. I done seen Sarah Susan said it done emerge from the ashes. You know what I'm saying? Niggas walking around with their Pharaoh t-shirts on. You know what I'm saying? And all they really doing is what you would have mentioned it before, because they done took this stuff and used it as a hustle. You know what I'm saying? See, they were going at the Muslim niggas. The Muslim niggas ain't really want to debate them. They couldn't make no money. They went at the more niggas. That ended up, they couldn't do no more. Who Israelite niggas, because they love to argue like hoes. You know what I'm saying? We can argue with you niggas all day, every day, and somebody gonna pay to watch it. Ain't no way in the world I'm finna pay for a live stream of two grown men arguing, and both of them stupid. You know what I'm talking about? Why would I even pay to watch a nigga argue who got a weave ponytail in his head? Nigga bald headed with a weave ponytail and a blouse on. I wish I was exaggerating, but the nigga got a weave ponytail and a blouse on. Grown men, eyeliner on. How am I even gonna have, I couldn't even be able, I don't even want to look this nigga in the face with no eyeliner on. He might bite his eyes wrong. I'm gonna take it wrong, boy, we gonna fight. I'm for real now. You see a grown man looking at you with eyeliner on, like, he could have been like this here, he had something in his eye. Hold up, Cole, what you trying to insinuate?
For real though.
Nigga got eyeliner on though. I don't know where your mind at. You a grown man with eyeliner on. Eyeliner. Come on, boy. Where you at? Talk to him. 1 Timothy chapter 1 about verse 10.
Yeah, 10.
1 Timothy chapter 1 and about verse 10.
It says, for whoremongers, for them that defile themselves with mankind, for men stealers, for liars, for perjured persons.
That means basically people who don't keep their word, perjured and lying. Come on.
And if there be anything that is contrary to sound doctrine.
Anything that's contrary to sound doctrine. You know what that means when they say anything contrary to sound doctrine? I mean, that's anything contrary to the teaching of Kodesh, the teaching of Hamashiach. Anything. So guess what that encompasses? Anything you can think of. That's what he talking about. Well, why he say don't smoke marijuana? He covered it right there, nigga. That's contrary. Give me Leviticus 19 and 1 for it. He said anything that's contrary to sound doctrine. Let's see what sound doctrine is. Let's see what our law say sound doctrine is. That's why we were talking about this last night. You got to come up out of it. Because these people crazy. Look, Mike. What's up? Yeah, you don't want to cry today. I see how you do it. It's all right. I thought we were cool. You had the food on yesterday. Amen. Come on.
And Yahuwah spoke unto Moshe, saying,
What he told?
Speak unto all the assembly of the children of Yasharal, and say unto them, Ye shall be Kodesh.
You shall be what?
Kodesh.
We what?
Kodesh.
And what else?
For I, Yahuwah Yah Elohim, am
He
Kodesh.
set apart. You think it's anything set apart by smoking weed? Being an alcoholic? Telling lies, masturbating, getting drunk, whoring? You know what I'm saying? They don't just sit back and look at none of this stuff. Well, you got multiple wives. What's Kodesh about that? How you set apart with that? Don't get 1 Peter chapter 1 verse 13. Corey. I didn't want them to hear this here. I didn't want you to hear it from an apostle perspective. Come on, Tizzy. Pop said no, I can't help it.
1 Peter chapter 1, verse 13.
1 Peter chapter 1, verse 13.
Wherefore gird up your loins of your mind, be sober, and hope to the end for the grace that is to be brought unto you, that the
So that is, we talked about that. What did it be sober again, gentlemen? What that mean?
that is to be brought.
Hold on. What did it mean to be sober, Jordan?
Business life.
Business life. So the same way stuff come up, business life. Don't you know something when you run a business, you know, stuff, unforeseen stuff you might have not known pop up, and you got to have the ability to adjust. You know what I'm talking about? Okay, something came up, you ain't anticipate this to come in your monthly sales, and this, that came. You gonna sit back, sulk about it? Or you gonna go ahead and adjust so the business keep going. So guess what? It come up, honey, go in the garbage, throw it in the garbage. You know what I'm talking about? If something else come up, guess what? You put that to the side. You don't make no difference, because at the end of the day, we are running a business here. The business you running is the saving of your soul. You want your business to be successful, ain't it? You gonna sit around and gloat and complain because something come up in your business? You sit back and look at it. If you do that when it pertains to the saving of your soul, which is your business, how you think you'll be able to run a natural business like that if things don't go according to what you wanted it to go or how you thought it was gonna go? Your business gonna fail. Somebody gonna be riding past and there's gonna be a for rent sign in front of the spot that you was at. Y'all see a lot of them when you ride through the city sometimes, don't, for lease and for rent. It's like, boy, the boy was just up and running last week. They don't. You gotta look at your soul the same way. You know why a lot of people don't sit back in their business and fail? They didn't plan properly, and when things unforeseen came up, they didn't properly adjust. Or when information came up because they wanted to do it this way, when something came up to show it to go this way, and they just wanted to keep on going the way they wanted to go, and then hey, you owe the bank a couple $100,000. Come on, boy.
That is to be brought unto you at the revelation of Yahushua HaMashiach.
Yeah.
As obedient children.
As what?
As obedient children. Not fashioning yourselves according to the former lust in your
So you
ignorance.
sit back and look at it. There's just a lot of stuff, man. That's why he said we coming back to Psalms 103 to hear that. That's why he said he pity us as a father pity his children, because he knows it's a lot of stuff we just don't know. You know what I'm saying? I keep reiterating this because I have to tell brothers this all the time. Our forefathers did not lose their name. They didn't lose their tongue. They didn't lose their God. They didn't lose any of that. You know what I'm saying? They knew who they were. Even during the time of when the Ruach HaKodesh was sent down, even those who were coming up out of all those Gentile nations to come up to Jerusalem for the feast, they still knew who they were. You know what I'm saying? They still knew. A brother called me Thursday when I was going with my brother to see, and my grandma to go see my dad. And he was like, man, this dude sitting here saying that Paul never spoke Hebrew and all this here. And I'm sitting back looking at him like why would you even entertain that conversation? Because we already know Mashiach spoke to Paul in Hebrew. Why would I speak to a man in a tongue that he couldn't understand? That makes a lot of sense. I know you can't understand Spanish, and I'm going to come talk to you in Spanish. So common sense tell me if he spoke to him in Hebrew, he spoke in Hebrew. We go look at the verse where it shows that in Acts 21, about verse 40, where Paul stood up in front of the people and began to speak to them in Hebrew. Because he under the NC talking about, because we were Greek, we all spoke Greek. Nigga, we wasn't never Greek, nigga. He was like, Greek was the world language. No, it wasn't, man. What was the three languages on top of Mashiach as his accusation? What the three languages was above him? Greek, Latin, and Hebrew. But yet these people didn't speak that. But it's over. Why no Aramaic? Why would he write in Hebrew if they spoke? And why was Hebrew first? Absolutely. That's why it's going to be first. But it was the point of, if you already know this, why are you even talking to this idiot? And why are you calling me with it? You know what I'm talking about? Because that's what I'm talking about. Why is you even calling me? Why you even got this nigga on speakerphone in the background for me to hear him? If I just said, hey man, you know where it's at, show it to him, leave me alone. If my grandma old, I don't know how much time I got left, but I don't want to talk to her. Not about this. But that's what I be talking about, man. A lot of people don't have no love for the truth. The reason I mention that is the pitying part. Like this here, right? When I seen that yesterday, and I went and looked into it about the honey, there was a pitying part because of the words that were used. You know what I'm saying? The word that's used in Hebrew is different than what we see in English. And it's like I told you, you hear honey, you automatically think bee. Ain't nobody thinking about no tree sap. How many of y'all is here? You ever been told not to eat no tree sap? I done had people tell me you shouldn't eat that, it ain't good for you. I ain't never thought to eat it. You know what I'm talking about? But then when I sit back, when he put it in my mind, when I was talking to y'all about it, that's the first thing I say, I'm thinking about a tree. You go look at tree sap, it's the same color as honey. Most of it is that dark, yellowish brown. You know what I'm saying? Like you ain't drinking enough water when you go urinate and your urine brown.
Like tea.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's the best I can come up with.
Everybody know honey, like you do something like honey. You know what I mean?
But But I'm talking about, but when you go to sit back and you go to thinking, boy, like that tree sap real sticky, just like honey. I ain't never tasted none. I pray it's probably sweet like it too. But the key thing, like they talk about what John the Baptist even said was wild honey. Why would it mention it being wild honey if it came from bees and we know he dwelt in the wilderness? You know what's in the wilderness? Vegetation. You know what I'm talking about? So that means all he did is, I got me some locusts, pop this tree open, we good. But you know what I'm saying? But that's, you sit back and look at, that's the mercy of y'all. You didn't know that. I know you didn't know it. I allow you to come across the information because I have pity upon you so you can know it. It's like this here, right? I read when I was 16, don't eat no swine. You know what I'm talking about? But it's a lot of people walk 30, 40, 50 years on this earth never knowing that the words say that. I'm talking about they've been reading the Bible their whole life. Just like I would tell you. My brother in Detroit. He was hot with himself more than anything of overlooking that Numbers 10 say 2 silver trumpets. You know what I'm saying? But like I told y'all that as soon as y'all came through the door on trumpet. He got no business grabbing no shofar, man. That's not what he told you to get. And what did I tell you? A shofar gives off a distinct sound versus the sound of a trumpet. You know what I'm saying? Those are two different noises. So when you hear a trumpet being blown, you gonna know a trumpet being blown. These niggas blowing shofar, so like I told you then, when the master come back, what they gonna be listening for? The wrong thing. So guess what that means? Somebody ain't getting up. But it's something like this here, but that's when he get you up out of your ignorance. It's a lot of things y'all didn't know you were doing that were wrong. You know what I'm talking about? So now that we sit back and look at it, now that we done give the information and the glorious light of the good news of YAHUAH HaMashiach done shine in your heart, you ain't got no business going back doing the things that you were doing when you didn't know they were wrong. Well, I'm talking about when the word came, boy, I sat back and looked at, boy, your whole life was incorrect. Whole life was incorrect. You know, that's not a pill a lot of people want to swallow. Most people want to be happy they find out they from the seed of Yasharah, the seed of Israel. That's what they be happy about. I sat back and analyzed and looked at, well, your whole life is incorrect. Well, you could die and go to hell at any minute, any moment. You already should be there. In the grave, dead, stank, and getting ready to burn. We don't look at it that way because we take this stuff for granted. We just think, that's why I was mentioning to y'all about that to y'all. With most Israelites, it's a competition on who can get it out first. Who know the most. You know what I'm saying? It don't matter. You know what I'm talking about? Somebody can add on to us just like we can add on to them. You know what I'm talking about? It's all a collective group of working together if you're working for the same cause. If you look at the apostles, they never taught nothing different. You didn't see them sitting back arguing with each other. My doctrine is right, yours is wrong. See, you don't know what you're talking about, bro. You know what I'm talking about? They ain't do none of that. They ain't call each other coons or none of that. We on the same team, on the same squad, doing the same thing for the same goal, working for the same power, and serving the same people. Because a lot of these people out here, they don't care nothing about us as a group. It's just about having vainglory for men. Come on, boy. Give me Galatians chapter 6 and verse 1 while we got this, since I said that before. Finish that out on me, man. Give me Galatians chapter 6 and verse 1. Finish where you at, boy. You give me Galatians chapter 6. You still in 1 Timothy chapter 1, ain't you, sir? Oh, my apologies. I was talking before.
Not clarifying.
Where we at? About verse 11.
Yep.
All right. 1 Timothy chapter 1, verse 11.
It says, according to the glorious gospel of the blessed Elohim, which was committed to my trust.
Mm-hmm.
And I thank YAHUAH HaMashiach, our Savior, who have enabled me for that he counted me faithful, put me into the ministry. Who was before a blasphemer and a persecutor and injurious person. Yeah. But I obtained mercy because I did it ignorantly and unbelief.
You heard what he said? Now, this is all springing on what we were looking at here in this Psalms 103, where he said he have not dealt with us after our sins. You heard what Paul? Read that again and let them hear what type of person Paul was.
He was a blasphemer.
He was a blasphemer. What does the law say should happen to a blasphemer? He should be stoned and put to death. And what else was it?
A persecutor.
He was a persecutor, which means you did harm to other men. What does our law say should happen to him? He ought to be put to death. And what else?
dangerous person.
And he should be put to death. But look what Paul said.
But I obtained mercy because I did it ignorantly in unbelief.
You see what Paul sit back showing you? He hasn't dealt with me after my iniquities. We had to sit back and look at that. You all hear that testimony? My man said he's a blast. The first thing he said, he ought to die. He said, but I obtained mercy. Come on, Paul.
Galatians 6. Brethren, if a man be overtaken in a fault, ye which are spiritual, restore such an one in the spirit of meekness, considering yourself, lest ye also be tempted. Bear ye one another's burdens, and so fulfill the Torah of Hamashiach.
Now, what do you think this means when he say bear one another's burdens? He say that fulfilling the law of Mashiach, the Torah of Mashiach. Why do you think it's important that Paul say bear one another's burdens? Why is that important to everybody? Anybody? Troy, you want to take a shot at it? Lane sitting back there stretching like he ain't like this. I see you back there. You want to take a shot? Look at it. Don't say nothing. You say Miss Bridgewater class. What you think he mean when he say bear one another's burdens?
Almost like being compassionate towards one another.
Well, thank you a lot, Langston. Appreciate you there, sir. But you know what the Mashiach said? He that's greatest among you, let it be what?
Great servant.
Be a servant, right? When we sit back and look at that about bearing one another's burdens, who can you look at and see somebody bearing one another's burdens, fulfilling the law of Mashiach? I got somebody coming to my mind immediately. But who else bear one another's burdens?
Jonathan and David.
Yeah, Jonathan definitely bear David's burden. You know what I'm talking about? And David bear because Saul wanted to kill both of them, didn't he? Saul wanted to kill David because David was going to get a kid, and he wanted to kill Jonathan because Jonathan would help him. But who was the first person to bear somebody else's burden? Huh? I can't hear you. What you saying?
I said Adam.
What's the man saying? Like you got to bear. Adam, the first one, bear somebody's burden, didn't he? Fulfilling the law of Mashiach, he laid his life down. He said, greater love had no man than this, that a man should do what? Lay his life down for his friends. You know what I'm talking about? So we're supposed to be looking at each other. That's why you say bear one another's burdens. You know what I'm saying? Even in the Apostle Paul wrote in 1 Corinthians chapter 12, that if one member suffer, we all suffer. And if one member be honored, we all be honored. To bear that with each other. That's fulfilling the law of Mashiach. That's what he came and did. So when we turn around and look at it, because you know a silly nigga who don't believe in a Mashiach will say, see, he had his own law. That's just fulfilling the word. Matter of fact, let's come over here and look at 1 Samuel about 18. Let's see if we can see something about that one time. I got it. Let's look at about 1 Samuel 18 and 12. You still holding Galatians chapter 6. I ain't had you holding nothing else other than that 1 Timothy chapter 1 as well. And you holding Psalms 103, ain't you, sir? I appreciate it. 1 Samuel chapter 18 and the 12th verse. It says, and Saul was afraid of David because Yahuwah was with him and was departed from Saul. Therefore Saul removed him from him and made him captain over 1,000, and he went out and came in before the people. And David behaved himself wisely in all his ways, and Yahuwah was with him. Wherefore when Saul saw that he behaved himself very wisely, he was afraid of him. But all Yasharal and Yehudah loved David because he went out and came in before him. Who else was afraid of somebody who behaved himself wisely and all the people loved him? Just read about it last night. Y'all know who else somebody was that all the people loved, and the man who was in who wanted to kill him didn't kill him because everybody loved him? No, I'm talking about you just read about it last night. John the Baptist. Remember we just read that last night. Herod wanted to kill him, but he feared the people. All Yasharal loved him. Because before Mashiach came, wasn't he the one paving the way? leading them in and bringing them out. He said, somebody greater than me come. He said, I got to decrease. He must increase. So before my shot came, boy, John was the one bringing them in and leading them out. Look at verse 1 of this very same chapter. Let's see what Jonathan and David ended up doing. And it came to pass when he made an end of speaking unto Saul, that the soul of Jonathan was knit with the soul of David, and Jonathan loved him as his own soul. You know why we got to read this here? You know what wicked niggas say this means? They were gay. It's saying Saul took him that day and wouldn't let him go no more to his father's, more home to his father's house. Then Jonathan and David made a covenant because he loved him as his own soul. And Jonathan stripped himself of the robe that was upon him and gave it to David and his garments, even to his sword and to his bow and to his girdle. You don't see this man bearing the burden of his brother. He know his brother need all of that. Somebody out to kill him. He gave him his bow, his girdle. This man, look what he gave him. His garment, his sword, his bow, and his belt, and his robe. Gave it to him. You see Jonathan off the rip fulfilling the law of Mashiach, bearing his brother's burden, because you know David was going to get ready to be on the run. And who was the only one riding for him? Hold him down. Hold him down. That's how we got to look at each other. We're going to fulfill the law of Mashiach. We got to be willing to hold each other down. You know what I'm talking about? You know, a lot of these groups always talk about the brotherhood. The brotherhood. Man, that stuff just be for the count. You know what I'm talking about? I ain't going to say all of them like that. A lot of that stuff just be for the count. Because it wouldn't matter if somebody, you know, a lot of them look at it like this here. If you're not a part of my group, I can't talk to you. You know what I'm talking about? I can't be friends with you. But if we all doing the same thing, no matter where you at, it don't make no difference. You know the old saying, like, you know, old real, recognize real and all that stuff. If somebody is serving up a Mashiach, you should be able to recognize them. And if you're able to recognize them, you should treat them as such. That's it. They don't have to be a part of your congregation for you to do that. You know what I'm saying? These niggas done came in and brought a gang mentality into the word that if you don't bang my set, I don't mess with you. That's retarded. Whoo, boy. Come on, Corey, finish that Galatians chapter.
For if a man think himself to be something when he is nothing, he deceives himself.
That's what happened to Korah. That's what happened with Miriam. That's what happened with Aaron, bro. They thought themselves to be something, didn't they? See themselves. Come on.
But let every man prove his own work, and then shall he have rejoicing in himself alone, and not in another. For every man shall bear his own burden. Let him that is taught in the word communicate unto him that teaches in all good things. Be not deceived. Elohim is not mocked.
That's good. You heard what he said. Let him that teacheth in the word communicate, that's taught in the word, to communicate good things. So we got to sit back and realize that's going right back to what we looked at in Numbers, man. I wish to God that all y'all's people were prophets. If you've been taught in the word, shouldn't you speak good things? You know what I'm saying? We should speak the things that are good and let these people condemn themselves when they say that they are evil. Come on back to Psalms 103 and where you stopped at, young man. What verse did you stop? I know what verse you stopped at. Don't worry about it. You stopped at verse 9 or verse 10. But I want you to look at verse 9. Because he said he will not hold his anger forever. He will not chide forever. That's when you see Zacharias, John the Baptist's father, turn around and say, blessed be Yahuwah Elohim and Yasharal, for he had visited and redeemed his people and showed the mercy that he swore to us according to the covenant that he made with our fathers. You got to understand something. The Most High was upset with us for a long period of time before Mashiach came. A long period of time. We were separated from him. He had to come back and bring us back to us. Go ahead and read verse 9 for me again, young man.
He will not always chide, neither will he keep his anger forever. He has not dealt with us after our sins, nor rewarded us according to our iniquities. For as the heaven is high above the earth, so great is his mercy toward them that fear him.
Whoa. He says the Shamahim is high above the earth, so great is his mercy that fear him. I think we read about that last night. What y'all think? Did we read about that last night? What did we read about it last night? Where did we get that from last night to confirm what we just read right here? As the Shamahim is higher than the earth, so is his mercy towards us. What did we read about that last night? Don't nobody know what we seen that at? Y'all don't know where we seen that at? Did he tell you that the Mashiach was made higher than the Shamahim? To sit at the right hand of the Father to make intercession? You don't think that's mercy on your behalf? Dwight, give me 1 John chapter 2 verse 1. Y'all all right? You all right, Sherry? What you over there doing? I know it. Don't say nothing. No, you ain't over there doing nothing. You gotta listen. 1 John 2:1 says. 1 John 2:1. Epistle of John. 1 John 2:1.
It says, my little children, these things write I unto you, that ye sin not. And if any man sin, we have an advocate with the Father, YAHUAH HaMashiach.
The right it said, my little children. I write unto you that you sin not. He said, but you got an advocate. You know what that's going on too? You sit back and look at it. If it's something you did in your ignorance and you didn't know, don't you know you got a man at the right hand of the Father to advocate on your behalf on that? Now, Father, this was not done willfully by these individuals. They were not aware, they did not know. Come on, brother.
It says, and he is the propitiation for our sins, and not for ours only, but also for the sins of the whole world.
For the whole world. That's good. Come on, Corey.
As far as the east is from the west, so far has he removed our transgressions from us. Like as a father pities his children, so Yahuwah pities them that fear him.
Why is that important?
For he knows our friend.
Hold on. He said, as a father pitieth his children, so Yahuwah pitieth them that fear him. Why is that important? Why? I mean, and this is twofold. He gonna have pity on. We don't know. Dwight, give me Jeremiah 17 and 1. Corey, while you're holding that Psalm 103, could you give me first Malachi chapter 3 and about verse 17? And just for y'all out there for the notation, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna get Hebrews 5 and 7. Matter of fact, I'll make it 5 and 4. First place we at is Jeremiah 17 and 1. That's what you got in for.
No.
Oh, he got it. Dwight got 17 and 1. What I got you got?
I got Psalms 103 and Malachi 3.
Yeah, Malachi 3. Get your Psalms. Not Psalms, Jeremiah 17 and 1. Malachi chapter 3 verse 17. And the epistle to the Hebrews about 5 and 4. Dwight, when you ready, sir?
I'm not ready.
Jeremiah 17?
Yeah, I'm not ready.
Okay then. It's not time for your shenanigans.
It says, the sin of Judah is written with the pen of iron.
To say the sin of Yehuda is written with a pen of iron. What could come to your mind when you hear that? Permanent. But he said the sin of Yehuda is written with iron. What were the nails made out of? Just hit that button. Come on.
It says, and with the point of a diamond.
With the point of a who?
Diamond.
Mm-hmm.
It is graven upon the tables of their heart.
Woo! It's written on the tables of their heart, bro. Why is that important? That sin is written on the tables of your heart.
I will give you a new law.
That's the new covenant.
You gotta know it. Come on, we come back to it. Come on, young man.
And upon the horns of your altars,
Mm-hmm.
which their children remember their altars and their groves by the green trees upon the high hills. O my mountain in the field, I will give thy substance and all thy treasures to the spoil, and thy high places for sin throughout all the borders. And thou even thyself shalt discontinue from thy
You
heritage.
say, thou even thyself shall be what?
Shall discontinue from thy heritage
Go ahead.
that I gave thee.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. What you think this means?
You're going to lose your name, culture, and
You know what I'm saying? When we look at it on the natural level, we lost our heritage, right? We lost everything. We lost our power. We lost our name. We lost everything. But now I want y'all to look at it in another way. He said, I will discontinue you from the heritage that I had, that you had with me. I'm going to stop. Don't you know in the book of Jeremiah, the 12th chapter, y'all remember this here when he said, my heritage is unto me as a speckled bird? Do y'all know what them niggas use to justify that, to say what they're talking about? They try to say that, they use that to try to say that's how Latinos are of our people. But you know a speckled bird is just a bird of many colors, right? Just different colors, what that means. What the color you mean when you hear son of different colors?
Jacob. No, Joseph.
Joseph in his coat of many colors. When the Mashiach died, what did they do? Then they throw a purple robe on him. Then they took that one off of him and put a scarlet robe on him. Then they took that one off of him and put a gorgeous robe on him. That's what Herod put on him in the 23rd chapter of the book of Luke, right? You know what I'm saying? So when we looking at that heritage, you should know from John chapter 17, he say, Father, give me the esteem or the glory that I had with you before the world was. We already sit back and look at that. The law was not made for a righteous man. Therefore, I got to discontinue you from the heritage that I gave you. Meaning this is showing you how Mashiach was coming down to become a man. See, give me 2 Corinthians chapter. I got it. 2 Corinthians chapter 8. I want y'all to stay with me. I'm trying to get a lot of stuff in here. That's why I wanted both of y'all. I appreciate both of you gentlemen today. You shall surely be paid with the heartache. Thank you very much.
Can that be converted into currency?
That is currency. That's the currency of a job well done.
Yes, I need something that I can pay. I got something I need to pay. I got some bills. I need some U.S. coins.
Hey, man, you come in there and pay that bill and say, I've been given some thank you very much coupons, and I put this towards my balance. They say if they don't want to take it, tell them holler at the thank you very much reserve, and we'll gladly get back with them. It didn't die.
No, good.
2 Corinthians 8 and 9. It says, for ye know the grace of our Master Yahushua HaMashiach, that though he was rich, yet for your sakes he became poor, that ye through his poverty might be made rich. Do you not realize if you say in the beginning what the word was Elohim, and the word was with Elohim, and the word or the Torah was made flesh. You gotta realize that's what he said our heritage was that covenant or that word. You know what I'm talking about? It wasn't given unto any other people. We already started in Psalm 103. He made his acts known unto Moshe. You know what I'm talking about? He turned around and made it known unto who? The children of YAHUAH. He made his acts known to Yahushua. He turned around and let it be known to us when he came in and fulfilled everything written in the book. You know what I'm talking about? He had it. Don't you not realize when this man become a man, he was discontinued from his heritage? All you got to do is go back and look at the first Adam. His heritage was to have dominion and rule over everything. If he become a man, ain't that stop? I done discontinued you from that. Why did I discontinue from it? Because the sin of Yehuda is great. It's great. I got to discontinue you from that. You know what I'm talking about? Even though Mashiach never forgot who he was, when we look at this heritage, we looking at him being discontinued from what was his in the Shamayim, laying it down to pick it back up. You know what I'm saying? Now we sit back looking at, because of our ancestors' disobedience, they laid down the heritage for, praise be to Yah, for us to come back behind them and pick it back up. You know what I'm talking about? That's why it seems like we get so frustrated when stuff come up and we're like, oh, this was wrong. You got to sit back and realize most of us didn't know who he was till just a short while ago. I don't think there's nobody sitting in this room know they was the seed of Yasharal for 10 years yet. I'm talking about for 10 years. Some of us getting close to 10 years. But most, I ain't even talking about walking in obedience, maturing or nothing. Just simple fact, knowing who you were. You know what I'm saying? I'm on 6. I know you were on 8, ain't you? I mean, because you knew before I got out of prison. Oh, you said 3 months? I thought you found out in 07. Oh, you said 3 months. Well, we on the same clock then. I thought you had found out about a year or so before I got out. You know what I'm saying? So shoot, ain't nobody sitting in here got 10 years knowing them. But you realize how short a period of time that is. Do you realize how much that would had to been learned in that short period of time? And then a lot of people got fooled up messing with dummies, so that's stunted your development. You know what I'm talking about?
Growth done got retarded.
Stunted your development. The way you know what I'm talking about, you ain't even really get no information. You ain't even get no understanding. You know what I'm talking about? I just think y'all, he had mercy on me a lot because I ain't get caught up with none of them niggas. I just said, it ain't no telling, man. If he would have had the ability where I would have had a computer at the house like you did, ain't no telling what could have happened. Cause you niggas just been sitting there listening to all them dudes. Next thing you know, you going for a lot of the stuff they talking about. I'm gonna tell you this what I used to do. You know, I would write down notes on everything we watch when them niggas talk. But I would go back home and try to verify that. And when I was in my verification process, I started to notice some inconsistencies. You know what I'm saying? So it made me like, you know what, hold on. But the nail in the coffin was, this man started showing me this stuff in May. It's August and September. These niggas still saying the same exact thing. He remember he telling these boys ain't got no new videos or nothing, man. They ain't got nothing new. He said, come on, bro, because my thinking is, it's always going to be something different. How I learned your whole doctrine in 90 days? If you can, and then, that's why you think you see all them dudes with the throw rugs out there on the corner, because it don't take long to learn it. It don't take long to learn it. You notice this man say that, go on and get me Hebrews chapter 8, about verse 7. I want you to read that verse 1 again for me, Dwight, before he gets that. Read that Jeremiah 17 one more time for me, sir. Praise y'all for you. Praise y'all for you. This thing here serious, man. These boys had you around here stuck looking stupid.
It says, the sin of Judah is written with the pen of iron.
Written with a pen of iron.
And with the point.
Hold on. Now, what other prophet told you about somebody having something written? Remember when Isaiah? I like to say because you know I know back. Well, I always like that name. It is kind of a lot of. You know what I'm talking about? That YAHUAH. That man told you about that right there, though. He say, man, you say y'all. You say he say Zion. Say you done forgot her. He said I ain't forgot you. Well, you written on the palm of my hand. He said you engraved it on the palm of my hands is what are you. You know what I'm talking about? And what we go back and look at in our law at, them two stones, right? And what was it engraved with some iron, with an iron tool, engraving the names of all the 12 tribes of YAHUAH on that stone. You remember that? Exodus about 28. You know what I'm talking about? I guess Ron ain't never find them keys. Come on.
8 and 7.
No, I'm talking about Dwight.
And with the point of a diamond.
Point of a diamond. You know what diamonds do? They cut glass. On the most hardest scale, diamonds are ranked a 10. Go ahead.
It is graven upon the table of their hearts and upon horns of your altars.
It's written well.
Upon the tables of their heart.
Hebrews 8:7.
For if that first covenant had been faultless, then should no place have been sought for the second. For finding fault with them, he says, behold, the days come, says YAHUAH, when I will make a renewed covenant with the house of YAHUAH and with the house of Yehudah, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day when I took them by the hand to lead them out of the land of Mitzrayim, because they continued not in my covenant, and I regarded them not, says YAHUAH. For this is the covenant that I will make with the house of YAHUAH after those days, says YAHUAH.
Hold on. What did you just say, YAHUAH?
I say
I'm
YAHUAH.
going to say, boy, keep your time.
I ain't say YAHUAH.
Okay.
I ain't speaking LaShawan.
Okay. Now, I had to make sure. I'm like, well, I know he just ain't say that.
It was just a little lazy.
A little lazy.
A little lazy.
Okay, tighten up now. Hire somebody next week. Come on.
For this is the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, says YAHUAH. I will put my Torah in their mind and write it in their hearts. And I will be to them an Elohim, and they shall be to me my people.
And what else?
And they shall not teach every man his neighbor and every man his brother, saying, Know YAHUAH, for all shall know me, from the least to the greatest. For I will be merciful to their unrighteousness, and their sins and their iniquities will I remember no more.
You know what? That's very important. That's very important. You know, I have been holding this in my head for a good little minute. Oh, I give me Isaiah 44 and 20. You already said this here. See, the whole key point is he saying, I'm going to take this sin and I'm going to write it in your heart. Well, we know Hamashiach was made unto us to become sin, to remove sin. So he's sitting here telling you, this thing got to be inside of you. So when it come inside of you when we were in our ignorance, you know what I'm talking about? We turn around and sit back and look at it. I'm not going to fashion myself according to that form of ignorance. High school time, huh? Going to make it far, huh? Hold on, that ain't what I want. It's Isaiah 43 and 20. Isaiah 43 and 24. You know, this This thing got to be it's got to be merged. And this is why when you sit back and you look at a lot of our people, the stagnation, the plateauing, you know what I'm saying? I thank y'all in the name of Yahushua, man. We sit back and look at what this is. This is so-called September 19th. When actuality we coming up on the first complete week of the 7th month. You know what I'm saying? And we approaching to get ready to acknowledge the Day of Atonement. And by the grace of Yahuwah, and these people so-called 9 months of their year, and then in the 7 months of our year, we done been able to see and learn a lot of things, you know what I'm talking about, in a short period of time. Well, it's a lot of our brothers and sisters, man, they ain't learning nothing.
Stagnant water don't swim good.
Stagnant water good, this thing ain't.
Some special kind of thing.
You know what I'm saying? We don't want to give off. We don't want to give off that type of fire. Come on, brother. Isaiah 43.
22?
Yeah, 24, my fault.
24. It says, Thou hast bought me no sweet cane with money, neither hast thou filled me with the fat of thy sacrifices. But thou hast made me to serve with thy sins, thou hast reared me with thy iniquities.
That's what we've been turning around, and that's what we were doing. We were causing this man to be weird. That's what we ended up bringing y'all. We're bringing him our sins. Hold on, hold what you got. Look at Romans chapter. Everybody get Romans chapter. You stay right there. I'm Romans 3 and 4. I'll read verse 3. I'm just sit back reading because this is where people's mind be at. It says, Elohim, he said, for what if some did not believe? Shall their unbelief make the faith of Elohim without effect? Elohim forbid. Let Elohim be true. But every man a liar, that is written, that thou might be justified in thy sayings, and might overcome when thou art judged. We sit back and look at it. Hamashiach say, it's one who justified me, right? He say the same one whom you say is your God or your power. You know what I'm talking about? Hamashiach was justified by the word. He overcame by the word. We sit back and you look at a lot of brothers and sisters, they say certain things, and they seem to be justified by what they think. Case in example, that woman that just kept going on and on and on and on about angels having sex with human beings. You know what I'm talking about? And what is the point of, what are you trying to get out of that? And your point is, well, he never said they couldn't have sex with him. We put it this way. He said, well, he said they're not given into marriage or not married. So that doesn't mean that they're not capable of having it. That's got to be the dumbest thing a grown person, and you probably have reproduced. You know what I'm talking about? You have reproduced with this type of asinine level of reasoning. And this man say, the children of the resurrection are not given into marriage, nor are they married, but they're like the Malachim and the Shamahim. That tells me angels don't have sex. You know what I'm talking about? This also tells me that at the resurrection of the dead, ain't nobody having no sex. So when GMS around here talking about you gonna get in the kingdom and be getting freaky, and women just gonna be popping out babies like sugar plums, somebody's stupid. You know what I'm talking about? Then you guys got to turn around and say, now you saying that the Father and the Son have need, because that's the next, they don't even realize how, that's the next step. Well, who's to say that y'all don't have sex? So now you going to tell me y'all came down here, he going to want to have sex too? No. Now you going to, that's right, you going to tell Mike. That's right. That's right, Mike. No. You know what I'm saying? Praise y'all. He's like this here. No, but this is I'm talking about she going hard. Who that was? Which one of y'all put that up there? That was you, Drew? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Oh, he was just talking about the book of Enoch. The book of Enoch in that book he got. When I was going looking through it during the week, I seen about 2-3 words. I just kept on flipping. I didn't tell you no lie. I just like this here. I'm good. Corey got all types of stuff highlighted too. Well, I mean, he been had the book, so you know he gonna look at it and read it and highlight it. It ain't like he just got to be like, shoot, I ain't gonna see what's in it. It's in here, you know what I'm talking about?
It's about the only book I ever studied. Period.
Enoch?
No, I'm talking about just this book in general. Like school.
Oh, you talking about really going through this?
Yeah.
I can tell, because you got a lot of stuff more than them. I can tell. You know somebody studying something, boy, when they got highlighters in different colors. Like this verse in yellow, this verse in green, this one in pink. Oh, you do that too, Mom? Oh, T do that.
Box, and then
You do it too, though. He got it boxed in and lines in.
Portals in it.
I'm talking about portals. Oh yeah, they told me about what you said about them portals too, boy. You want to tell them about the portals,
I
boy?
don't remember about the portals.
Who want to tell you? Want to tell them about the portals? What that nigga say about the portals, man?
I don't remember.
Go ahead and tell them what he said about. Boy, they had Corey whacked out, man.
Oh, about Earth being flat. Okay, so the Earth is like a snow globe, all right? So when the sun goes down, it goes to a portal, apparently, so it says Enoch, can't verify. But then it goes through a portal, and that's how it gets back to the other side, because the Earth is spherical, but it's not in this sense in which, like, the picture they show us. It's not like that. It's like a snow globe.
You know what I'm saying? Now, when we turn around and we look at that, that means a book of Enoch need to be, you niggas need to go get some scissors. You know what I'm talking about? And start cutting that pages out the book. Because this man just say that Enoch say that the earth going through a portal. So he like this here.
No, not the Earth, the sun. Sun. That's how the
Sun,
sun.
earth,
gets
it's all
back.
that. Like that's better. So the sun like this here, like it's on Mario when he go through the little tube.
It's like Snake, man. You know the game Snake. You go on one side and you come on another side.
You know what I'm saying? And this the logic, and niggas get upset, and that's the crazy part too. In 2015, police killing all people dead in the street. You know what I'm saying? Our people good and poor. You know what I'm saying? Unemployment good and high. Incarceration rate high. Illegitimacy is high. And niggas arguing about is the world round the flag. And I'm talking about going hard about it too. I'm telling you, they ain't going as hard as they were about 2-3 months. They talking about if the world is round, how is everybody gonna see him? I say you ain't got to worry about it. You just know you're gonna see him.
The way I know it was, but they said the Earth is spinning like 5,000 whatever it's spinning. If it's spinning, we know if it was spinning. That don't make no sense. It can't be spinning if the sun, huh?
I know it.
That's what they taught me.
That's what's in here. We're not too far from it. We're reading. We're not too far from it. It's in the next chapter. Oh,
I didn't say it's not sphere. I didn't say it's not circular.
Like this, how we'll say we on the about the portal slave.
what we say we good on that? We did that because we ain't dealing with no portion.
When I called him in Africa, it's nighttime, but it was daytime here. And then he called me at daytime.
I mean, that's obvious. Because Brother Tony called us and it's nighttime in Australia when he called in period of time.
It ain't going nowhere because the other side of the world, they still seeing it.
You know what I'm talking about? That's the same way, the way you put all that to rest and you put all that to bed is the stupidity that these niggas had with the new moon for Trump. These niggas like, we ain't seen the new moon yet, so it ain't came in. The moon does not stop rotating, period. You know what I'm talking about? When that new moon come in September 13th, when that new moon came in, that light was coming in regardless. These niggas didn't see the new moon till September 15th. These niggas actually said people were faking new moon sightings. How are they, what type of grown man got time to be faking a moon sighting?
Mother doesn't have a life.
Niggas say I'm talking about all across the world now. All these people in the Eastern Hemisphere seeing the same moon. Now we don't see this moon. Because when I was talking to Troy, I told y'all this. When he was telling me about what the dude said about the moon, I went on the moon app. It said new moon been in for X amount of time. It said 3.5%. It was sky blue right out the door just like this here. So that let me know that was the moon over there. You know what I'm talking about? Because I couldn't see it. It's daytime here. You know what I'm talking about? You see the sun or the moon or the sun actually like it's going down. But actually that's because of the axis and the turning of the planet. So it gives off that appearance as if it's going down. Well, actually the sun ain't moved nowhere. The sun can't move. The sun's not even close enough for us to even think it would move. That means something else is moving. Because the sun don't move. That is a stationary object. The earth rotates around the sun. You know what I'm talking about? Nigga just went crazy. And guess what? That whole doctrine of the earth being flat comes from a Caucasian. So as soon as you heard that, you know what you're supposed to do with that? Got you, you know what you used to do in school? Get your piece of paper, you kind of fold it, make it an X crease. Boom.
It's probably gonna be a good one.
Let me finish this right here. Get on down here about verse 5. I'm in verse 5. But if our unrighteousness commend the righteousness of Elohim, what shall we say is unrighteousness? Is Elohim unrighteous who take vengeance? I speak as a man. Elohim forbid, for then how shall Elohim judge the world? For if the truth of Elohim have abounded, more abounded through my lie unto his glory, why am I yet also judged as a sinner? And not rather as we be slanderously reported, as some affirm that we say. Let us do evil that good may come, whose damnation is just. You know what I'm saying? He said that. He said they slanderously report me. You lying on me. Say, let us do evil that good may come. When you sit back and you look at a lot of our people out here, that's what they like to say. Let us do evil that good may come. So what we end up doing, give me Jeremiah chapter 7, Corey. Probably about verse 8 come to mind. That's all we sitting around, turning around doing. We got y'all, we feeding y'all to serve with our sins. He told you that in the first chapter, the book of Isaiah, the book of YAHUAH. He said, man, look here, man. He said, your hands weary me. He said, your prayers, your oblations, your new moons, I do away with. He said, ain't nothing but blood. Says it's an offense. That's what we got to turn around and look at. Not just if we come up with something that we didn't know was wrong, but it got to be around here doing stuff you know wrong, causing this man to suffer your sins. That man don't want that junk. Come on, young man. Jeremiah 7:8.
Behold, you trust in lying words that cannot profit. Will ye steal, kill, and break wedlock, and swear falsely, and burn incense unto, and walk after other gods whom you know not, and come and stand before me in this house which is called by my name, and say we are delivered to do all these abominations?
Let us do evil that good may come. A lot of brothers say that's what them Christians do. That's what these niggas do, walk around the star of Molech on their outfit. You know what I'm talking about? Read that stuff again, talking about what they around here doing. Read it again.
Will ye steal,
Will you steal? Look at that, most of these dudes, man, all they sit back. I told you about the sister report about what the nigga doing out there in Louisiana, wife swap. Say all he doing, he just stealing all the people money. Come on.
kill,
Around here killing. But guess what? They ain't just killing people physically, they killing people telling lies. It say Satan was what? A murderer from the beginning. How did he become a murderer? Because he lied. Told that woman a lie, cost her her life. These dudes be standing in front of these people. That's right. Got you around here looking like a plumb idiot. Come on.
and break wedlock,
Break heart? What that mean to break wedlock? Not just with that one there. In this instance, he talking about breaking his covenant. Breaking that contract. Every time you sit back and say, I'm going to go you already know that from Exodus chapter 24. They say everything you said that you said we will do. You entered into that contract. You entered into wedlock with him. He told you that in Ezekiel. He said, I seen you in your own blood, and I told you live, and you should be mine. And you know the law say, man, the woman desire supposed to be who? Come on, sir.
and swear falsely.
Swear falsely? You know what that means? What about I told you about swearing?
Swear by me.
What he told you?
Don't swear because you can't turn your hair gray.
He told you don't do it. He said let your yea be yea or your nay be nay. Because anything other than that is evil. That's one thing we always used to say, the truth stand on its own. You ain't got to be running to I swear to God, bro. I swear to God. I swear on my mama. I swear on my kids. I swear on my grandma's grave. Come on, bro. That's really going to make me believe you.
Still lying.
I put that on everything. Whoo, I'm convinced. He put it on everything. Come on, sir.
And burn incense.
Burn incense. They around here like this. Marijuana ain't no incense. You might as well be some. Because you doing it to smoke to the Dog Star series anyway. That's where the name cannabis came from. They were smoking to the Dog Star series. They were getting high looking at the stars in the Shamahin. That's where it come from. Y'all ain't know that, did they? Them niggas like to smoke weed, getting high, worshiping their God. That information alone should make anybody who smoke weed put it down. Come on.
And walk after other gods whom ye know not.
That's all we want to do. Go ahead.
And come and stand before me in this house which is called by my name, and say we are delivered to do all
and they
these
say we can go
abominations.
stand in front of Kawasaki and say we can do all this. We come stand in front of Jesus and say we can do all this. That's what they say. But we know if we going to come stand before Yahushua upon who the house is named after, the house that he sanctified, we know we can't do this. Come on, boy.
Is this house which is called by my name become a den of robbers in your eyes? Behold, even I have seen it, says Yahuwah. But go ye now to my place which was in Shiloh, where I set my name at the first, and see aught that I did to it for the wickedness of my people.
What happened to Shiloh, everybody? What happened to Shiloh, Lord? Somebody said something on the phone. What happened to Shiloh? It got destroyed. What you think gonna happen to us if we do that? Say, let us do evil that good may come. This is like one of the things what we talk about with predictive programming in itself, or what they done taught us. That you can do evil and the Most High will still bless you. You know what I'm saying? We know that from being there. Her back there be hustling, man, be like, boy, the Lord let me get through, boy, to get back with that work, boy. Boy, I had a car full of work, boy. He was with me, boy. You know what I'm saying? Niggas be wearing crosses on their necklace, man. I'm talking about kiss on it and all that type of stuff before they hit the road.
Bible on the day.
You know what I'm talking about? You been done caught a good pop, boy, I'm telling you. Boy, God with me, boy, I'm coming up. You selling drugs. You know what I'm saying? You know that nigga Rick Ross had a song where he said, I'm talking about, boy, I ain't wasn't listening to hip hop like that. It was fading. You know what I'm talking about? When that come, I'm like, well, I never listened to none of that nigga music. Boy, that nigga Rick Ross said, boy, Rick Ross used the highest praise for to give thanks for getting some cocaine. But you know what I'm talking. Now let's sit back here. Now obviously we can't dare speak for y'all. You know what I'm talking about? But I'm willing to wager that he probably was highly perturbed that you would use hallelujah to sit back and justify that you got some cocaine. So that's what that nigga said, man, on a record. And niggas was riding around bumping it, singing along to it. Look at my, he was singing along with it. He was singing along. I don't even remember how it went. I don't even want to remember how it went. I know I was offended. You know what I'm saying? That's how they look at this stuff though, man. They don't respect it. You know what I'm saying? That's the mentality. What all you learn from the Christian church, you can do evil and good gonna come, don't you? You can, like this here, they got mad at some old fall problem. I think it was one of them sap boys. That they wanted a woman to, her baby to be christened. He said, I ain't gonna do it. You got a bastard baby. You know what I'm saying? How could he do that? Jesus wouldn't do that. You right, Jesus wouldn't do it. Yahushua would though. Get your stinking horse behind up out of here. You'll find your day, you better get married or something. You know what I'm talking about? Because the reason what they ain't looking at is, his rationale was correct, but the dude is a hypocrite. If we do a baby shower or a christening for this bastard baby, that tells everybody, every other woman in here, it's all right for you to toot it and boot it and get pregnant. There's no accountability. That's what that tells. See, but people don't sit back and look at that, because that's what that's telling every other woman here. You have a baby, and we like this here, we christen your baby, we gonna do all this here. Well, guess what that tell you? I ain't got to get married. Because they did that for her baby. So it ain't gonna be no retribution, no repercussions if I come up pregnant. Look at all these groups you come to that Christian church, all these women in here pregnant, ain't none of them married. You sitting around looking at, well, where your daddy at? I don't know where he at, you know. He ain't round no more. He ain't round no more. You ain't married? No, I only was with him for a couple months. Couple months? Well, how long you been going to this church? About 6 years. What?
There's a disconnect.
Come on back. Come on over here. Isaiah 44, 43. Look, Mike Hall, ain't it? Man, y'all don't look like it's gonna rain. Must be some good water. What's up, man? Isaiah 43 and what verse is it? 24. Isaiah 43 and 24.
It says, thou hast bought me no sweet cane with money, neither hast thou filled me with the fat of thy sacrifices. But thou hast made me to serve with thy sins, thou hast worried me with thine iniquities. I, even I, am he that blotted out my transgressions.
He is who?
He that blotted out thy transgressions for my own sake.
For my own sake.
And will I not remember thy sins? Put me in remembrance, let us plead together, declare thou that thou mayest be justified. Thy first father hath sinned, and thy teachers have transgressed against me. Therefore I have profaned the princes of the sanctuary, and have given Jacob to the curse, and Israel to the reproach.
We done went over this before, right? Any of y'all remember when we went over this before? Who remember when we went over this before? Don't told nobody. So well, let's turn back and look at it. He say, even I am he that blot out thy transgressions and will not remember thy sins. Why is that important? We've read a piece of it already. We could look at an example of this in the Gospels, could we not? He said, your first father sinned. Your teachers transgressed against me. Who's your first father then? So Adam sinned in there. So then he said, I profaned the prince of the sanctuary, gave Jacob to the curse, Israel the reproach. So what could it be? He said, I blot out the sin. You know, it's another place. He said, I bring a dark cloud to blot out the transgression, right? Y'all familiar with that? Y'all should know what that is too, ain't it? I'm talking about the house of the report.
Yeah, when he was up there on the stage, when he brought that dark cloud.
When he brought that dark cloud out there. That stuff ain't in there for no reason. But the niggas always scream, Marshall, he ain't nowhere in the Old Testament. That's conjunction. Y'all be reaching. Well, nigga, what you think he talking about bringing a dark cloud out for? Who was your first father that sinned? When did he give Jacob? Well, he gave Jacob to the curse because we in captivity. He gave us the reproach because they disrespect us. So who is the reproaches of them that reproach thee that fell on me? Give me Romans 15. All right, little man. I hear you, man. And we'll come over here and look at this thing. I'll read, before he get there, let me read this Isaiah 40 and 22, which is what it is, 21. Just so y'all can see that there, that he tell you that the world is a globe, or a circle, so to speak, or a sphere, or whichever you like to say. And some of them look at it and see when you translate the word off. See, that ain't really supposed to be. I'm not going through all that with you, man. You know what I'm saying? Start to use your brain. If you got a north and a south pole, you know there has to be a circular. It can't be just like, see, they say the map really like how they show it on the United Nations thing. Okay. All right then. How we know we ain't never been to space? These white folks got all these, like, one thing about it, they ain't been to no moon. But they done shot plenty stuff about this atmosphere though. You know what I'm talking about? They done shot plenty stuff about this atmosphere though. You know what I'm talking about? As a matter of fact, in that documentary, you talking about the Bible does not teach science. You lied. Because if you deal with science, like I say, you deal with mathematics. The word teaches about mathematics. Mathematics and science is one and the same. Isaiah 40 and about verse 20. Let's just see what it says. 21, I'll stop. He says, have ye known, have you not heard? He said, have you not known? Have you not heard? Have it not been told you from the beginning? Have you not understood from the foundations of the earth? That's what we sit back looking at. Have we been told? I'm talking about us in this room. Have we been told?
Yes.
Have we heard?
Yes.
Say, we've been told everything that done happened from the foundation of the world from the beginning. God told you the end from the beginning and the beginning from the end. He says, it is he that sit upon the circle of the earth, and the inhabitants thereof are as grasshoppers, that stretch out the Shamahim as a curtain, and spread them out as a tent to dwell in. What he just told you the earth was like?
Like a circle.
What did he just sit back and tell you? What do you think he meant? He said, I spread out the Shamahim as a tent for you to dwell in. This is important since tabernacle comes. Matter of fact, I'll go ahead and touch that now. Come on over here to Leviticus chapter 23. Y'all just stay where you're at. I got it. Come on over to Leviticus 23. We're going to roll around at 5 o'clock. Leviticus chapter 23, everybody. And about verse 33, Leviticus 23 and 33. What do you, I'm asking? He said, I'm going to spread out the Shamahim as a tent for them to dwell in. Okay then. She said he don't never want to talk, he just repeats. He says, and Yahuwah spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto the children of Yasharah, saying, the 15th day of this 7th month shall be the Feast of Tabernacles, for 7 days unto Yahuwah. On the first day shall be a Kodesh convocation, you shall do no servile work therein. 7 days you shall offer an offering made by fire unto Yahuwah, and on the 8th day shall be a Kodesh convocation unto you. You shall offer an offering made by fire unto Yahuwah. It is a solemn assembly, and you shall do no servile work therein. Drop down to about verse 4. Let's see what he tells you to do. And you shall take you on the first day the boughs of goodly trees, branches of palm trees, and boughs of thick trees, and willows of the brook, and you shall rejoice before Yahuwah your Elohim 7 days. And you shall keep it a feast unto Yahuwah 7 days, and the year shall be a statute forever in your generation. You shall celebrate it in the 7th month. You shall dwell in booths 7 days. All that are Yasharalites born shall dwell in booths, that your generations may know that I made the children of Yasharal to dwell in booths. When I brought them out of the land of Mizraim, I am Yahuwah your Elohim. Well, this so you know why we'll be rotating, dwelling in a tent. You know what I'm talking about? But then also, look at the key thing. What did he say you ought to make this booth from? Palm trees. What else? Goodly trees. And boughs of a thick tree. You know what's usually a thick tree mean? This is a solid tree, right? Kind of strong. He said, I opened up, and he said, I spread the Shamahim as a tent for men to dwell in. Why would that be important? And he's telling you that the Feast of Tabernacles, he's wanting you to remember that I called you to dwell in blue when I brought you out of Mizraim, which we know in the Greek say Egypt, and we know that Egypt means what? Bondage. So why would it be important then? Because he said, I sit on the circle of the earth, right? Everybody like grasshoppers, mean you small to me. Then he said, I spread out the Shamahim as a tent for men to dwell in. 2 Corinthians chapter 5. I got it, just there with it. What I got you holding, Jim? Isaiah, you good. What you got over there also?
I've got Psalms 103, and I've got Romans 15. Yep, 15.
2 Corinthians 5.
I got another one too.
What you got over there?
And I've got Malachi.
3 and 15. We'll get to Malachi 3 and 15. If y'all can. 2 Corinthians 5 and 1. Listen to what Paul tells you. For we know that if our earthly house of this tabernacle were dissolved, we have a building of Elohim, a house not made with hand, eternal in the Shamahim. Don't you sit back and realize when we were in Mizraim, that was an earthly house that we were dwelling in that was dissolved because he destroyed that place? Because he was sitting back showing you something, that when we came up out of there, he gave you a booth to dwell in when you were coming out of your bondage. He says, for this we groan for, and for this we groan, earnestly desire to be clothed upon with the house which is from Shamahim. Didn't he just tell you that in Isaiah? That he stretched out the Shamahim as a curtain, as a tent for men to dwell in? When he was making that mentioning right there, he was making mention of us giving us a house to dwell in on high. Think something made of an eternal component. You know what I'm talking about? Because that's what we seeking to be clothed with or dwell in. Because that's what Isaiah said, right? Do I read it for him again in Isaiah 40? Oh, you got those. Thanks, bro.
Yeah, 43 and what?
Give me 40 and 20, what we just read. About 40 and 22. I don't want to see y'all didn't even catch that there when he told y'all he stretched the Shamahim as a tent to dwell in. That first day when you heard that tent to dwell in, especially with tabernacle coming, that should have came to your mind instantly. A dwelling place. Why would he need to make a dwelling place for your own household if it wasn't pointing to something else? Come on, bro.
It says, he that is so impoverished.
Give me 22.
It says, it is he that sitteth upon the circle of the earth, and the inhabitants thereof are as grasshoppers, that stretcheth out the heavens as a curtain, and spreadeth them out as a tent to dwell in.
I mean, he stretched it out as a tent for you to dwell. You know what's in the Shamahim, right? Everything that's eternal, right? Everything that would make what Yah and Yahusha is. He said, I spread that out for you to dwell in. What you think he talking about? Well, what dwell in the Shamahim? What's up there? I'm talking about literally. I'm asking a serious question. What's up there? As far as we know what our naked natural eyes can see.
Stars.
And what did the word say? Then what did Daniel tell you? That those who turn unto righteousness shall be stars in the Shamahim. That's your sign forever. He said, you shall be lights in the world. So when he talking about spreading open the Shamahim for them to dwell, talking about the star, I mean, I'm making an eternal component for those who return unto me. Because I blotted out your sins for my sake. You know what I'm talking about? Your first father sinned. We ain't going to read it today. You know in Ezekiel 22, he say the prophets are profane. They ain't taught them the difference between Kodesh and un-Kodesh. They ain't taught them the difference between the clean and the unclean. He said they ravenous wolves. They ain't showed. When you look at most of these people out here, man, are they blowing the trumpet to warn the people? Or people just walking around just looking crazy? You know what I'm talking about? This, I'm gonna tell you something, man. I had told him, I think I was telling, I might have been Troy, I was telling about it. It might have been Trav. You know, all you need is a Hebrew Israelite starter kit. You know what come in a Hebrew Israelite starter kit?
Some fringes.
Some fringes. What else come in a Hebrew Israelite starter kit?
Shofar.
A shofar. What else come in? Can't forget the beard. You know what I'm talking about? And you can't forget the locks. You know what I'm saying? That's a Hebrew walking around taking pictures with a Bible in their hand. Like I said, I got all this stuff on. I got my lock going, got my shofar in my back pocket. I make sure I turn in the picture so you can see it. You know what I'm talking about? Got my fringes hanging, and I'm gonna stand there and pose with my Bible like this here, like, boy, I'm living this, sir. I'm living this. You don't see me? I took a picture with a Bible. You know what I'm saying? I'm for real though. How many of y'all in here took a picture with a Bible? You took a picture with a Bible? You know what I'm saying? And you do that because you don't know no better, do it. You don't know no better. I ain't never thought about doing that with them. But you ain't the only one. I know a man was like in Detroit. He was like, well, I used to do all that. Get new books. You know what I'm saying? Take pictures with the books. He said, I began to realize, like, I was like, what does this really mean? Well, she pushed him like a nigga in the street. Like this here, boy. I thought you ain't playing. But boy, Lee don't play no radio over that, boy. I'm talking about she ain't got no problem hitting with a quick pimp slap. Wow. You know what I'm saying? She too young to be doing stuff like that. Where she caught that? Where she learned that from? You saw how calm and cool he said it. What you get out tall?
What they call handling a lightweight.
They call him put out. Good. Great. How you doing? Man. Ain't it all? I'm talking about as nails. Like this here, boy, I'm talking about, boy, she catching, boy. But he didn't want to act a fool because he's so scared he don't want to walk past me. Come on. Yeah. Oh, right on the line. It's over. You know what I'm saying? But I'm telling you though, man. You know, I mean, because y'all young, man. So you know what I'm saying? Then y'all in college and then you see other people, you thinking that's the thing to do. But y'all, I wasn't thinking about y'all. Because this other one, they go harder than you. Anything y'all thought y'all might have did, them niggas went hard. Something I done seen before. I'm talking about every day. But you know you know what I'm saying? You know they got the pole with it. Them niggas gonna hold that book like this here. You know what I'm saying? Don't let them be standing there. They got, if they can cuff that book like this here, they got this one here going on. Hold on, I gotta use the right
Book in one hand, so far another hand.
No, like this here, they be like this here. Quam Yasharala, pop! They gonna break their whole chest. You know what I'm saying?
Resuscitate.
But the thing is though, it make people not take us seriously though.
This is true.
You know what I'm saying? They gonna sit back and look at you and be like, boy, if you asking me to go from Christianity to that, I think I'm gonna stay where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? Cause I told you before, boy, niggas come here Israelite, boy, they don't look like they don't wash no more. You know what I'm saying? Niggas look like they don't get groomed no more. You know what I'm saying? Niggas like this here, like, hey, I ain't against nobody who want to copy my garment. You know what I'm saying? Some brothers and sisters are real nice in their ability on making them. You know what I'm talking about? But come on, my nigga, you don't care about yourself no more? Boy, I was talking to a dude, he said, man, I started wearing cologne, cause they told me it was a sin. I said, nigga told you it was a sin to smell good? Nigga say you should be stank.
Well.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, we just messing with y'all about that last week though, but guess what? Somebody come and tell you what's so bad. Now you niggas around here white people, baby. Rinsing. But I'm talking about, but when you don't really know nothing about the word and you got a real strong desire in your mind to do right, and if you ain't careful and some people say certain things, you might been done took it and ran with it. You know what I'm talking about? Then you look up and be being made a fool. I say when you don't know no better. Because some people go, boy, I'm telling you, boy, some people so zealous that if you could tell them something, and possibly make it sound anything remotely close to what the word say, they'll go for it because that's just how zealous they is to serve the Most High. Without even sitting back thinking. I'm not saying I'm going to go for a nigga telling me to take a bath with this water. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going for a nigga talking about don't use no cologne.
You tell me I can't use soap, I do not want to follow your religion, sir. Sorry.
I'm not going to follow it. Because you niggas going to be stank by yourself. I'm talking about, boy, because all I'm sitting back looking at, if we can't use soap, that means all these women's vagina is toxic. Toxic. Biohazard stickers. I'm talking about, you done married this woman, and she opened her legs up, you like this here, I'm good. I'm gone. I done signed up, I ain't signed up for this. Shoot, at the same time, you women know you like that. He take his clothes off. Come on, man. Come on, man, because male gonna tell you get stank just like women's on do. You know what I'm talking about? And you gonna be like this here, she gonna be like this here. I ain't signed up for this either. Shoot. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna eat that. What we gonna do with it? You know what I'm saying? In all seriousness though, because you gotta know is if somebody brought that to y'all, is somebody out here teaching that, and is somebody out here following that. Now I'm sitting back looking at y'all women. How many of y'all women in here sit here and go for that? Somebody telling you can't put some type of cleansing agent on your body. Since I said Jeremiah 2:23, Cord. Hold on, let me finish this 2 Corinthians 5. 2 Corinthians 5:3. He say, for if it so be that being clothed, we shall not be found naked. For we that are in this tabernacle do groan, being burdened. Not that we would be unclothed, but clothed upon, that mortality might be swallowed up in life. That's why he said he blotted out in your transgressions for his sake. Remember he told you that. He said, I don't do this for you. I do this for me, for my name's sake. You profane my name. Do this for you. You know what I'm saying? That's why he say, Father, esteem thy name, glorify thy name. He said, I have esteemed and I'll do it again. Because YAHUAH had to do that there. We had his name bad in the street. Y'all, some of y'all too young to remember that song. But Biggie had that song, he's Get Money. He was talking about Faith Evans. He said, who would ever thought you would have spread like mustard? You know what I'm talking about? See, I'm going to tell you something, man. That's one of the reasons why I be telling y'all why a lot of times a man don't want to be with a whore's woman, because he worried about if she going to go out there and do that again. Then you have my name bad out here in the streets. You know what I'm saying? They'll see me laughing and snickering. Not just because of that there, because I'm going to be associated and attached to you. You know what I'm saying? That's how we ended up having y'all looking. I married you and you attached to me and you around here doing this and doing that. You got my name bad out here in these streets. I got to reclaim my name. Make sure these people know you best to respect me. Like when I heard Bill Maher talking about what type of God would have such a petty emotion of jealousy. The type of one that told you don't serve nobody else, I'll crack your dome. Crack it. That's what you want to look him in the face and tell him. You know what I'm talking about? You want to talk like a nigga, I'm going to talk to you like that. That's how you want to, if he was black, I'd have said nigga, because that's how you sound. You know what I'm talking about? You sound retarded right now. That's their number one. What type of God would have such a petty, I know men who got over jealousy. You ain't know no man got over no jealousy of somebody ramrod his wife. What? Tell that bold-faced lie. I ain't met a man yet cool with somebody ramrod and rod. I ain't met a man yet cool with, all right now, cuz. It's one thing if you were just looking, that's you know what I'm saying? I can't tell you what to do with your eyes now. But now you done approach. Now she done told you she spoken for you steady going. You know what I'm talking about? You steady, let me get your number. Let me call you, girl. You know what I'm saying? He catch wind of it. All right now. Because something gonna happen. Either you finna die whole or he finna die. Who gonna choose? You know what I'm talking about? Who gonna choose? Because that's what a man going through a man mind. Because if you married, you already know what time it is. You know what I'm talking about? That's why y'all was so hot and upset with her. You married, you already know what time it is. You know what I'm talking about? I shouldn't have to say nothing. I got a husband. That's the same way I can talk to a woman, be having a conversation with her. Look, if I ain't never talked to her before, I usually within the first 5 to 15 minutes let her know. I got an old lady. I don't even want you to get nothing like this here. I got to figure out how to work the conversation to slide that on in. Real talk though. Straight up though. I'm talking about, and especially doing what I'm doing, I gotta talk to all manner of people. You know what I'm talking about? But if I'm talking to a woman within the first 5 to 15 minutes, I'm looking at how that conversation to swing that in. I got an old lady. It ain't anybody say, you know, I was with my old lady the other day. Some way or another, she gonna know I'm smoking.
I do show up.
The reason why you got to do that, because if that woman don't know she's spoken for, she might think there's an opportunity and an opening for her to get in there. You know what I'm talking about? So you got to go ahead and shut that door.
Let somebody want you.
And I'm talking about any man, man. Any man in here know that. And if you got an old lady, you going to let that be known. Especially if you talking to, well, look here, let me tell you something. When you go to talking to a woman and if you hitting on something that she like, she don't necessarily care what you look like. If you sound like or appear to be the type of man that she is interested in and that she wants, you know what I'm talking about? She gonna make that move now. You better go and let her know. Like this here, you better go and let her know. Cause you don't want that door, I'm telling you, because if you leave that door open, messing with a nigga, they walking in, boy.
Smooth like peanut butter.
They walking in. Well, I mean, literally, you gotta make sure that door gets shut. You leave that door open, they like, what's going on? What y'all got going on in here? Y'all got some sandwiches? Tell her. I'm from the fourth floor. Nigga hold up 2 fingers, not 3. Come on, young man.
Jeremiah 3:1.
2 and 24, 23 actually. I want y'all to know this here. Don't be around here, nobody tell you, talking about we ain't use no soap. I don't like to tell you that. I'm telling you, because if I catch you stink, boy, you ain't gonna like the jokes I got.
How can you say I am not polluted? I am not gone after Balaam. See your way in the valley. Know what ye have done. Ye are swift, dromedary traversing her ways. A wild ass used to be into the wilderness that snuffs up the wind at her pleasure. In her occasion, who can turn her away? All they that seek her will not weary themselves. In her month they shall find her. Withhold your foot from being unshod and your throat from thirst. But you said there is no hope. No. I was wondering.
He said you were wondering, yeah, I'm sitting there listening like I ain't heard what I wanted yet. You know what I'm talking about? Boy, give me Malachi 3:1 though. That's one guy. I was like, I ain't heard what I wanted yet. Oh, we was too low. Cora, we was too low. We want 22.
God, we go 22.
Yeah,
For though you watch with niter and take ye much soap.
take you much what?
Soap.
Make sure every one of y'all take you a lot of soap.
Yet your iniquity is marked before me, says the Master Yahuwah.
He said, you're a nigga. He said, oh, you take. So no matter what we could do, we couldn't cleanse ourselves from that sin. Because he said, if the ashes of the heifer sprinkle into the unclean, he said, how much more should the blood of a Mashiach purge your conscience from dead works to serve the living power? Because he said back, look at it, he said, no, you took all this stuff with you. You know what it's actually talking about? These bulls and goats couldn't get that sin up off you, man. They said that sin's still before me, you need something greater. Come on, Dwight, give him Malachi 3:1. All right, let's see if we get another witness to back that up. But I don't care what type of soap you use, African black soap, Dove soap, body wash. I'm talking about Duval County jail soap. Better put something on there.
It says, behold, I will send my messenger, and he shall prepare the way before me. And the Lord whom ye seek shall suddenly come to his temple, even the messenger of the covenant whom ye delight in. Behold, he shall come, saith YAHUAH. But who may abide the day of his coming?
Who may abide the day of his coming? What else, Malachi?
And who shall stand when he appeareth?
Why is that?
For he is like a refiner's fire, and like fuller's soap.
Full of soap. So if he like a refiner fire, that means he gonna purge it. If he like full of soap, what that mean? He gonna clean it. So how somebody going around here talking about Yahoo Dean don't use no soap? Ain't nothing but a nigga who like to be funky. And I bet you that funky nigga got plenty of women too. Lift up his own arms like the homeboy Chris did, cringe at his own smell. Y'all actually seen that happen. That's a hard thing to watch a man cringe at his own smell. You know you stink. Well, I just said, well, one thing I know, boy, you know when you stink now.
This is true.
You know when you stink now. Walk around here smelling like death and crayons. You don't want to say nothing. Because you know somebody be real musky, they smell like crayons. Y'all find out one day. Be like this here, boy, I done smelled some funk before. What, being locked up, boy? And living around them Bosnians? Woo, woo! Woo, woo! What the Bosnians get about 7, 8 deep? All you just smell is like this here. You be like, boy, I want me a double stack from Wendy's. You smell them niggas, I don't never want another onion. I don't want nothing but an onion. Y'all know what I'm talking about? Y'all ain't never been around a whole bunch of Bosnian doors. Well, they don't use, but in our apartments, man, right before we all moved up out of there, they started moving all them Bosnians in there. Them niggas don't use deodorant.
Very strong.
You know what I'm talking about? So then they be standing outside like 6, 7, 8 deep in a pack. You know what I'm talking about? Then you walk past and it just hits you. Wow, my word. It's like a cloud of B.O. It's disgusting. It's vile. You know what I'm talking about?
It's very inconsiderate.
I'm talking about, man, they make you just mad. Go on and give me that Romans 15:1 to tie this into this Isaiah 44. Dwight, you go and get Malachi 3:15 when he will hold it. So we can work this Psalm 103 and get on our body.
Romans 15:1. We then that are strong ought to bear the infirmities of the weak.
That's why we ought to bear one another's burden. You sit back and look at it. Jonathan was in a state of strength. That's why he was able to bear the infirmity of David.
And not to please ourselves. Let every one of us please his neighbor for his good to edification.
What else?
For even Hamashiach pleased not himself.
Who did he please?
But as it is written, the reproaches of them that reproached you fell on me.
You see that there? He said, I'll take that on.
For
Come
what?
on, come on, that's good. Come on, Dwight, Malachi 3:15. Come on back to Psalms 103. You wasn't holding nothing else for you.
No, just that Malachi 3, but Dwight got that.
Dwight got it.
I got it.
Yeah.
He got it. I appreciate you gentlemen this afternoon. You've done a fantastic job. They did all right. Say everybody record.
Put my reader's voice on.
Put your reader's voice on. How many voices do you have?
Who knows? Depends on the week.
Like I said, because I know you got voices. You got your telephone voice, your interview voice. All of them sound like a 33-year-old white woman.
A 33-year-old white woman?
33-year-old white woman. Y'all don't know, Brittany put on a white woman voice. When she feeling good, she put on her from New Bern Project voice. She don't
That's what she getting on CJ.
Oh yeah, when it time like this here, all that stuff. Sometime like this here, boy, she went snapping, boy, I thought she had to translate it to another location a couple weeks ago. She was finna snatch him up. She talking about, I'm tired of you trying me, yo. I'm talking about like this here, oh boy. I said, where that come from?
That shit from Brooklyn. That shit
She had to go from Brooklyn, not from New Bern, right? I said,
from do or die, bitch.
I'm talking about how she came at it too. I'm tired of you trying me, yo. Where that come from?
Yo, me.
Well, I thought she was gonna snatch his whole trachea out too. I said, I'm scared for you, boy. I ain't trying to do no funeral. Look like we finna do one. Man, you said
Still smelling it, ain't you?
Oh my goodness.
what you just farted, boy?
No, he said he smelled dookie. I said, is it your lip?
I ain't got time for this.
Then I said, is you still smelling it?
Get out that bag, Lizzie. Malachi 3:15. Malachi 3:15.
It says, and now we call the proud happy. Yea, they that work wickedness are set up. Yea, they that tempt Elohim are even delivered.
Go ahead.
Then they that fear Yah speak often one
Those
to
that
another.
fear Yahuwah speak often one to another. Come on.
And Yah hearkened and heard it, and a book of remembrance was written before him for them that fear Yah, and the thought upon his name.
What else?
And they shall be mine, said Yah of hosts, in the day that when I make up my jewels, and I will spare them as a man spareth his own son that served him.
What else?
Then shall ye return and discern between the righteousness and the wicked, between him that served Elohim and him that served him
He
not.
said he'll make him up as his jewels, like a man get his son who served him. It says in Psalms 103 that like a father pitieth his children, so does Yahuwah pity them that fear him. I told you I read Hebrews 5 and 7. I'm going to go ahead and read it for you now. I said actually verse 4. I'll actually begin at verse 1. This is tied in that I blot out my sins, your sins for my sake. Because your first father had sinned. And he's saying your priests transgressed against me. So therefore Mashiach had to become a curse. Because as it is written, cursed is he that hangeth from a tree. You know what I'm talking about? He said, I've given him over to the reproaches, because those that reproach thee have reproached me. And many other locations where we have seen that over the time that Yah has allowed us to understand and know his truth according to the glorious good news of the preaching of Yahushua HaMashiach, our Savior and Master. For every high priest taken from among men is ordained for men and things pertaining to Elohim, that he may offer both gifts and sacrifices for sins. Who can have compassion on the ignorant and on them that are out the way, for that he himself also is compassed with infirmity? You heard what he said? The ignorant and them that are out the way. Remember he said the law wasn't made for a righteous man. What? It was made for a lawless man. You know what I'm talking about? That's what we sit back looking at, of him having compassion on us being ignorant. You know what I'm talking about? See, that's what the Apostle Paul told us in Romans the 10th chapter. He said, being ignorant of Elohim's righteousness, they have not submitted themselves unto it. Because we were ignorant of the Son. We didn't know Yahushua. All we knew was a Jesus personage. You know what I'm talking about? And everything attached to it was not scriptural. Even some of these Israelites that push hard about Jesus, 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 all this type of stuff, everything they teaching is not scriptural. The only thing they'll have on is keep the commandments, and that's about it. You know, anybody can stand up and say that, right? So-called Seventh-day Adventists say that, don't they? So what make you different from them? Because you know you're an Israelite? Because you know your nationality, who you come from? You know what I'm saying? It had to come a point in time you move past talking about you're not black as a crayon. You know what I'm talking about? No, you black because you stupid. Because you black in the heart. You know what I'm saying? This stuff ain't been written on your heart. Like he told you, he said, I wrote it on your heart. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people, they sin still in their heart. They ain't removed it. You know what I'm talking about? They're not moving forward and moving upwards. Like I said, we didn't read that Philippians 3 and 8 last night. I wanted to, but y'all didn't bring it to it. And Paul say, pressing to those things that are ahead, I forget those things that are behind. You know what I'm saying? We gotta sit back and look at that. Everything that we losing is actually for our profit and gain. You know what I'm talking about? Because that gets us one step closer to being perfected in Yahushua HaMashiach. See, I want to sit back and look at what we didn't look at it, but in the law. In Exodus 18, if I'm not mistaken. You know, Moses' father-in-law. Let me make sure that is Exodus 18. Moses' father-in-law came to him and he said, man, you take too much on yourself, man. You're going to weary yourself and you're going to take yourself down with all that you're doing. That's Exodus 18 by verse 1. You go look at it in there yourself. And he said he set captains over, you know what I'm saying, set men over X amount of people. And he said all the hard things bring it to me. See, that also tied into what we were looking at about, he said I set up apostles and prophets and pastors and evangelists and teachers. For the simple fact that all these men set it up, that he set up over them is for the edification of the people. That's what they're there for. You know what I'm talking about? To judge between the matters. To be there to stand in the gap for the people. It was never always in the lap of one individual. You know what I'm talking about? Because if you sit back and look at it, who's the only individual who can actually carry that bird? It ain't the one. And he ain't on the earth at the present time in the physical form as we can see each other right now. You know what I'm talking about? So therefore he got to set men up for that. All over the place. For the specific purpose of watching over his people. That's why he told you in Jeremiah. Say, I give them pastors according to my own heart. I'll set shepherds up. I'll send men. I'll do this. He say, I'll seek for them as a hunter. I'll fish for them. In order to fish for people, somebody got to go do the fishing. In order to hunt, somebody got to go do the hunting. Because his whole purpose is to gather all his people up, that remnant who chosen the salvation, and bring them all together to do what? To join together in one. Indeed. He says now, so we sit back and we see that. Listen to verse 3. And reason, by reason hereof, he ought as for the people, so also for himself to offer for sins. And no man take this honor unto himself, but he that is called of Elohim, as was Aaron. So also Hamashiach glorified not himself to be made a high priest, but he that said unto him, thou art my son, today have I begotten thee. As he saith in another place, thou art a priest forever after the order of Melchizedek, who in the days of his flesh, when he offered up prayers and supplication with strong crying and tears unto him that was able to save him from death, and was heard, and that he feared. And though he wore a son, yet he learned obedience by the things which he suffered. And being made perfect, he became the author of eternal salvation unto all them that obey. So it looks like just like the Father said right there in Psalm 103, looked like Yah the Father had pity upon his son because he feared him, didn't he? Therefore he offered himself for sins because he said, I take away your sins for my sake. Did a Mashiach do that for us, or did he do it for his Father's sake? Because y'all know what Ezekiel 36 says. He said, I don't do this for you, O children of Yasharah, be this known unto you. He said, I do this for my great name's sake, which you have profaned amongst the heathen. He said, be ashamed, all of you, for all your doings. You know what I'm talking about? So the things that we knew that were contrary, we ought to be ashamed for that. You know what I'm talking about? But there are also things that we didn't know that. You know what I'm talking about? That's why Mashiach is able to have compassion on us when we ignorant on things, because he was compassed with that same infirmity. He was made just like unto us. So he's not going to sit there and hold that to your feet that you didn't know. That's not why you alive and you walk in the world. He give you an opportunity to know it. Then when you get your opportunity to know it, it's on you what you do. Because I want to clarify this here for you, then when y'all jump up out of here and run now. It's a lot of people ain't heard a lot of things. But it's because the small bit they heard, they rejected it. Why would I tell you more if you ain't listened to a little? You feel what I'm saying? Well, you're going to sit back and talk to somebody about a whole matter and they pretty much done shut you down already. You're going to tell them the whole totality of it. Wouldn't that be a waste of time? Because if you done rejected the small part of what I had to present to you, I know you're not going to take the whole. We talking about us right here. And all those who seek Yahuwah all over this planet. On this day. He say we seek him and he know we ignorant of something. He going to let us know what time it is. Come on back to Psalm 103.
All meeting rooms will close in 15 minutes at 5:45. The library will close.
Psalms 103,
You start
14.
14. Come on, listen what he say now.
But he knows our frame. He remembers that we are dust.
You see what that say? He know your frame. He remembers you dust. He knew a Mashiach's frame. He remembered he was dust. Let's see what's next.
As for man, his days are as grass, as a flower of the field, so he flourishes. For the wind passes over it, and it is gone, and the place thereof shall know it no more. But the mercy of Yahuwah is from everlasting to everlasting upon them that fear him, and his righteousness unto his children's children.
Go ahead.
To such as keep his covenant, and to those that remember his commandments to do them. Yahuwah has prepared his throne in the Shemayim, and his kingdom rules over all.
That's good.
Baruch.
That's good. That's good. Go ahead.
Baruch Yahuwah, ye his angels that excel in strength, that do his commandments, hearkening unto the voice of his word.
Yeah, okay.
Baruch.
That's good. That's good. You know what that means, to excel in his strength?
Be mighty.
That's to grow stronger and stronger in the word. You know the book of Job, it says, he that have clean hands grow stronger and stronger. That's like Job 17 and 9. Baruch means blessed. If you didn't know what that means, that's what we were talking about.
It's Hebrew for
Dwight, could you get me Matthew 5 and 17?
Baruch Hashem Yahuwah. It's my mother tongue. Baruch. Let's go.
Y'all know that we have an opportunity to look at a lot of this stuff during Tabernacle. We're going to have to see each other for 8 days in a row. I hope y'all don't kill nobody by the end of the week.
I got my first victim.
I think you got a victim.
We'll sit down and talk with everybody how it works. How it
Say my
works
first
out.
rodeo.
Hopefully y'all wouldn't tell them, say they might be able to bring one with them on their journey.
What, 10?
Yeah.
I got that issue.
Okay, well, I'll go to 10. You ready? You'll just camp out on General Mills.
Yeah, actually I would. I'm going to sleep in my hammock 10 all week.
And where you stay?
Section 8.
You stay in Section 8? And you feel comfortable enough sleeping in the
I'm in
tent?
the back of the neighborhood. I'm going to be straight. Y'all got it.
Straight
You
up.
stay in an apartment? So you want to go to jail?
I'm not, it's a hammock tent. I'm going to be in my own designated area.
Yeah, you want to go to jail? Wow.
But you got a tent in the back.
I mean, it's a hammock tent. Like, I can literally hang it up anywhere. And it's a hammock, but it's a tent.
You know what I'm saying? So you're going to put that on the back porch. That's what I'm trying to ask. Matthew 5 and 17 there.
It says, think not that I come to destroy the law or the prophets. I have come to destroy, but to fulfill. For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass, one jot or tittle shall in no wise pass from the law, till all be fulfilled. Whosoever therefore shall break one of these least commandments, and shall teach men so, he shall be called the least in the kingdom of heaven.
Go ahead.
But whosoever shall do and teach them, the same shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven. For I say unto you, that except your righteousness shall exceed the righteousness of the scribes and Pharisees, ye shall in no case enter into the kingdom of heaven.
Praise ye Yah for Yahushua HaMashiach and the word.